PETA, podcast every day in April, where during the month of April you'll hear about different topics and different stories and discussions that I have on my mind and on my heart to discuss and address for this month. It may be sports related, it may be stuff related. You may even hear some guests on the show that you may haven't even seen or heard from me addressing on the show. But this is PETA, and this is Podcast Every Day in April. Hope you enjoy. Episode 166 of The Pass is here, and we were supposed to start this podcast like 20-30 minutes ago. Shut up. And I have my co-host, surprise guest. I talked about him a couple of days ago, and he's in the building. I normally call him Kaze, Shadow Kaze. Most times he's Mark. Other times he's Odell Beckham Jr., Randy Moss, T.O., goalkeeper. So I'm giving all your tutelage now. Fitness trainer. Hey.
Flex, because you can't see me.
He's flexing in this Liverpool kit that I almost want to kick him out about. But we'll get into that later. You want to say your hellos and welcomes and what's good?
Hello, past podcast. Thank you, Brate82 for the invitation. My real name is Mark. I go by Kazi. I, of course, preside here in RVA. For those that are trying to know what is this guy, what does he do? I mean, I'm a sports guy. I do some work for coverage for VCU Athletics. So the sports area I got a little bit. I'm also an avid gamer. I'm a nerd. I'm a trash talker. Trash talker Skywalker, a little bit in there. Mm-hmm. And, I'm kind of stupid, but that's why me and Brian are relatable.
So forewarning, he's going to probably bring about 80% of the madness.
I'm going to keep the same energy.
Yeah, so just be on the lookout. That's kind of the best thing I can say. Episodes are uploaded each day for the PETA, which is Podcast Every Day in April. At Spreaker.com, if you're looking to get into podcasts, and that's where I'm doing my shows. And also, the microphone we're using, so if we sound loud, it'll be Dolby 8.5. It's thanks to the Blue Yeti microphone. One of many air horns. Prepare for God's plan to be said a couple of times.
Oh, God.
So to start off, since this is episode 166, I didn't share this with Mark because this is kind of like my little trend that I do for the sports weekly shows. You'll be fine. This is the angel number 166 and its meaning. I'll go through this without boring y'all half to death. The number 1 in the angel number 166 symbolism stands for triumphs. It is symbolic of your abilities for creativity, self-initiative, motivation, and your desire for new beginnings. You have it in you to succeed in your journey. You have the courage you need to overcome challenges and stand out as a winner and conqueror. Apply your determination, tenacity, and willpower to attain your dreams. Remember that your thoughts will lay the foundation for your dreams to take shape, mature, and bloom to the life that you desire. The number 6 deals with the facets of your home and your family. The number here is repeated to show your strong connection to your family, and the value you place on your home is high above the usual levels. You therefore feel the need to focus all your energies on improving the lives of your family and making your home safer for your loved ones. The spiritual angels would not like you to lose focus on important aspects of your life like family, but they would like you to grow in other aspects of your life as well. You need to find your path and walk it. You need to grow. The angels want you to include your family in your journey. Walk through the hurdles with them, inspire them to be better people. This will bring you more fulfilled, which is a crappy way. Whoever wrote this need to be fired. Because they do some weird, it's some grammatical concerns, but I just read these because they're very inspirational. But that is the number for 166. It'll be in the show notes, as y'all know. Also, I like to share if you are having any issues or if you're in a crisis, I do provide this number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It is 1-800-799-SAFE or 7233, or you can go to www.thehotline.org. I've been promoting some businesses normally after this point, but I'm kind of switching it up a little bit. And
It's because I'm here.
you know what we're not gonna do?
Oh, sorry.
You've already
Sorry,
done it.
I'm a guest. My fault. Excuse me.
Then snatch. No, you good. You here. You here. So, first story we have is about. We're gonna do. I guess this will be 2% because I did state that we were gonna do some odd stories this week that I normally wouldn't do, but this was a good story because it happened this weekend. It'll be a 2-for-1. We have an article for one story, and then the other kind of will be improv because a lot of stuff happened. And for a warning, we will have more improv in this show, so there won't be as many topics. Prime example. But the first story we have is related to Augusta National. They did host their final. They did do something different this year, which is for the women's amateur event, they allowed that to be done at the Masters. And a lot of people may or may not know women really don't get much involvement in golf or the Masters.
I don't think the casual golf fans even knew that there was a women's golf division at the professional level.
Right.
Which, excuse me, this is a big deal for Augusta National specifically because, again, the casual fan probably only knows one female golfer, and that's Michelle Lee. And that's because she was Nike, and that was when Tiger Woods was big time, and she came in for Nike sponsorship and tore up the women's tour.
Right.
And had a good reign.
Yeah.
But for golf in general, it's a really good power move. I mean, you already got the Masters, which is arguably the biggest event viewership wise, besides like the U.S. Cup. I'm sorry, the U.S. Open and the Ryder Cup, because those are two big rivalries, U.S. versus Europe.
Yeah.
And you're putting the women on a big stage, be like, oh, hey, this could be, especially if it's like a really good final round, then you have more people, and get that interest started, gets people buzzing, gets people on their social media because they live in the world of social media, be like, hey, check this out.
Right.
So I think it's a really good move. I think it'll be interesting to see if they, I guess from the numbers they do this year, next year, if they'll do like, oh, let's do the third and the final round, and then eventually try and do the whole tournament just to see how they would do numbers wise on that aspect. Okay. It would be interesting though.
Yeah. So we, to be fun, because normally I would like read everything, but as I always joke, we've listened to on other podcasts. We have the article. Read it on your own time. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, literally. So,
yeah, you come to a podcast to listen. Come on, go read.
No, it's mainly, like I said, they're just doing a 54 hole stroke play tournament, which will be played annually the week prior to Masters, with Saturday's final round conducted at the home of the year's first men's major championship. So most of that was mentioned already. Like you said, I think this is a step in the right direction because it is kind of like that first step of just kind of getting, like, everything's about exposure, right, and kind of being seen in the limelight, and that's kind of what you would look for in golf, especially whenever you think of golf, like you said, Michelle Wie, and then on men's golf, which we'll get into in a moment, the guy that most people were kind of keeping their eyes on didn't have the greatest of performances, but he was there. But we'll kind of, I guess we can kind of do this as a 2% and kind of jump right over to the men's Masters, because we didn't want to give, like I said, I want to give the women's Masters that acknowledgement of, hey, it did occur. But the men's Masters, I have the actual scorecards as far as the full leaderboard. Patrick Reed, and I was when I saw this name, Mike Jones. Patrick Reed, since you went there. Patrick Reed actually was the winner. I think it went to a playoff hole, if I'm remembering. I might be wrong. It did not. Okay, well, I tried. Listen,
you did. Hold this L.
Hey, where my cards at? I'll give myself one. That's fine. I ain't mad about it.
Go on.
No, you good. So the main focal point that everybody was looking for was to see how Tiger would do. First, they were trying to see if Tiger would even make it. But even furthermore, how far would he, like, where would he rank as far as overall? He was tied 32nd. He was +1. His last day or two was kind of like his best show out, but it was mainly the big story of how Patrick Reed performed as well as his persona on the court.
Boy of golf.
But they had
I don't get it. Well, let's first talk about Tiger for a little bit.
Okay.
Because Tiger Woods, as we all know, went from golf phenom, to
Making mistakes.
making a lot of mistakes.
Driving recklessly.
Living lavishly through the, your local females at Denny's. And had a huge downfall. And then finally seeked help, got healthy. And he kind of looked like a shell of himself a little bit, and then he proceeded to get better and better and better. He's not 100% like, I'm back being the phenom and dominating the world of golf. Right. Because I watched the first and second round. Mm-hmm. He had his drive going a little bit. Sometimes it went into, the force or went into the crowd. Luckily, no spectators were harmed in the making of that drive. Right. And when it came to the green, he struggled on the green with his putts. Because he would get the right amount of power in the putt to make it towards the cup, but it would just be his angles would be off. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, it's going into hole and curve left just with like 2 meters left and get out of the hole. Yeah. So him finishing at over one, not bad. Like you said, tied for 32nd, and he has a $63,000 payday. Yeah, man, that ain't bad.
That ain't bad. I mean, in that event is definitely not bad.
I mean, the fact that the purse is now $1 million plus, that's crazy. Yeah, from back in the day. True. But the bad boy of golf, or excuse me,
but he's not the first bad boy of golf.
I don't get why he's the bad boy. I mean, granted, he doesn't talk to his parents after 3 years, and that's because of, I guess, his parents didn't like his wife. Mm-hmm. He did the family thing, which I think he got his wife, because his wife was a really good golfer, according to the reports, and offered her to be his caddy for major tournaments and stuff like that. And then when they, was blessed with her being pregnant, about to have a kid, and then now he has, I think, a brother or something like that. So he kept it in the family. Right. But he's not like Rory McIlroy or Jordan Spieth or even Bubba Watson. Like, he's not like outlandish, like, oh, I talk about golf all the time. He's like a normal, average Joe type of guy that wants to go out and win, which is admirable because, when you compete, you want to compete at the highest level and you want to win it. Yeah. You don't want now, some people just want to be there to compete, say, hey, I did it. I made it to this level. And
I got the green jacket.
Yeah, I'm cool. Others will be like, hey, I made it here. All right, I want to try and win this thing. Yeah. And that's what I think what Patrick Reed is. Yeah, he doesn't, the whole family thing, it's a little weird to me because I don't get it, but that's privately a matter for him. Yeah. Of course, with the world of social media, it's now being exposed to everything. Yeah. But I don't see how he's the bad boy just because he's not, oh, Rory didn't win, or Bubba didn't win, or Tiger didn't win. You are evil. I don't get that part.
So all right, and this is where my golf rookiness is kind of exposed a little bit, just not by intent.
To be fair, I am not a golf professional. The last time I played golf was Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2003.
And
on PS2.
And we'll count that as
EA Sports, get at me.
We'll count that as real golf.
We'll count it as real golf. Okay. I got a hole in one before. It was in a video game.
Pause. So you already know that was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, well, and you look at it. So this is another thing. So obviously Tiger was +1. Nobody talked about VJ. VJ was +7. So I mean, there were a lot of big names that were in the discussion, but weren't in the scene or didn't make as much of an expectation.
Plus, the course itself was really difficult in the first or second rounds. Like, you had people that you thought were the favorites, like ending like +2 or +3, and barely people finishing like at +5, +6 until the later rounds. Mm-hmm. Because Augusta's not easy.
No. Tiger did mention I do remember that he was kind of going to chill for a little bit after doing this match, because it was, I think for him, in my personal opinion, I think it was an emotional transition, only because he hadn't golfed in so long. Right. And with him golfing, this is that opportunity for media to just flood, because if you think about it, the last time he golfed, Twitter was popping, but Twitter won't popping like it is now. Twitter now will get at you in no time. Like,
Twitter is your advertisement now.
Right. Like, Twitter will legit let you know whether they like you, love you, hate you. And it's not just Twitter, it's Facebook.
It's social media in general.
Yeah, like they'll sit and find like, well, here's a picture, he didn't do this and he didn't have this. Like, I'm curious now, did you see Did you see the last final round or no?
I saw a little bit of it.
Did he have the red? Did he go with his infamous trademark? Not caught it.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
Might have had to try.
He might have.
Okay. I'm curious. That's
but in addition to that, think about it. Like, you haven't golfed in a while, and it's the Masters.
True.
It's
you're coming back to like a major.
It's their Super Bowl almost, kind of sort. I mean, arguments like the U.S. Open and like maybe the Ryder Cup, depending on what kind of golfer, what majors that you want to win, that might be your personal Super Bowl. But I think the Masters basically, this is it. This is the Super Bowl. This is where I got to perform high level. I want that green jacket. That's my trophy.
Yeah.
I even heard stories like even Tiger was like, "Yeah, I want my first green jacket. I didn't take that off for like 3 days." I was like,
"It's a jacket." You didn't see that.
I understand it, but I'm just like, it's a green jacket.
It's a jacket.
But I understand, Hall of Famers, legends wore that jacket. They won that tournament. So I wonder if Patrick Reed actually took the jacket off.
He probably.
There's probably a wild story from the bad boy of golf about where that jacket's been during that celebration night.
He probably took that joint off the next day. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm sorry. To spin from to leave the green and touch the field. We're gonna do not the field. I'm sorry, to hit the court. We are gonna.
Bro over there. We're gonna do 5-on-5. Oh, sorry.
You know what?
You said court.
So now if anybody asks if they want it, I'm telling you, the shoes is in the car. I got the shorts ready. Sweats all day. So the projected list for the 2018 NBA draft is here. But of course, it's going to change. I'm going to. This will probably be my aggressive takeover a little bit. This is going to change.
Be aggressive.
We will not be. You know what?
I'm sorry. I know it's my only podcast here. I'm sorry.
This is why I gave my listeners warning. This was going to be a definite 2% podcast, but they are showing the list of players who are projected to be drafted. Their rank order. How it's going to kind of work out for them, where they stand as far as with teams. Now, they don't have teams yet. Of course, it's going to be based on once the actual NBA draft lottery comes up in a couple days. Mm-hmm. If you were looking at this list, and as far as I know, they've mostly got everyone kind of set as to who's going to be where. They haven't. It's a couple guys who still are kind of on the fence of whether they're going to come out or not. I think Vanderbilt is supposed to make his announcement soon. He has not. Kevin Knox just made his a couple of days ago.
And he's an eighth.
It's not. In all fairness, so this is going to be one of those moments that I'm really going to say this because I think people don't like to hear it. Youth is important for the NBA draft.
Oh yeah.
No, but I'm saying that. It sounds dumb, but I'm explaining why.
Okay, go ahead.
It's because I thought about this a couple of days ago. Youth are key to players being drafted by teams. So you look at Trust the Process, Phoenix, Memphis. Well, I can't even say Memphis because Memphis really didn't do anything draft.
Yeah, it's like Memphis.
But teams that have drafted players from like they've expected the draft to kind of be like that make or break. Like I'm gonna be honest, Luke Walton is gonna be on the hot seat this year, like between the next couple of years.
Really?
And because if you look at it. Okay, yeah, he got his dad in his back pocket, but the reality of it is a lot of these younger players don't help these new coaches that are coming to teams, especially prime. I'll give the perfect example: the Sacramento Kings. The Kings, now to bring it back home.
Hey, we got Vince Carter. Vince Carter can still dunk at 40.
Vince is, and I'm good. I'm with you.
But
they had to let Cousins go because it was time. De'Aaron Fox we kind of knew was gonna get the green light, especially when they got rid of George Hill. Mm-hmm. But you just look at the team, like they're gonna kind of look to build. They expect the draft to build them. Phoenix the same way. Phoenix, like Devin Booker's a great player. Josh Jackson, and we know this every year. The first year, maybe 2 years that a player comes in the league. It's not even the fact that they struggle. It's just we really have to give them time to learn the game. Because you think, Lonzo Ball coming into the league. I know this is a bad example.
Triple B's.
Hey, big baller brand. I'm not a big baller.
Worldwide.
You know what? All right, first of all, before I say this,
One-on-one, Jordan never lost.
I'm gonna ask you this question, and I want you to give an honest answer. Right. Do you think LiAngelo is gonna get drafted?
Oh, That's not the
take the rest of the day.
I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Okay.
Because I think the UCLA scandal of him and the stealing of the shake, which again it happened in China, which you should not do that in China.
You shouldn't do it. Period.
Or period. Be an example. Be a law-abiding citizen. That'd be great. Anyway. I don't think he's going to get drafted because there's backlash still with that. Mm-hmm. And he went to Lithuania. I think I said it right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Words with friends.
Sorry for the 1 or 2 people, 3 people listening in Lithuania right now. But they went to not really a Euro like Premier League. And Euro basketball has become really, really big nowadays and now have really good leagues. So they went to Lithuania.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have good numbers, and Melo and his M1s, Melo ones, whatever she was called. Which I actually looked at them, I'm like, these look way better than the ZO2s, and I might actually would buy a pair if they really weren't that.
If they didn't look like they fell apart when they made the video production,
right?
That's another story.
So, I don't think he's gonna get drafted. I do think that if he keeps working, he might get an invitation to a camp, or maybe somewhere in summer league. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think he's going to probably be a Euro basketball career is ahead for
he's a position nightmare.
He's not bad. He's not great either. He's definitely not Lonzo.
He's a position nightmare though.
Yeah.
Cuz he in his mind he feels like he should be a forward, like a 3 or a 4.
He has Tim Tebow syndrome. I think not like
football. No, it's a moment. I had a moment of silence. You good?
Yeah,
no.
I'm like this is like for those that don't know who Tim Tebow is, he was a quarterback for Florida. He got drafted, and he thought because God told him that he should be a quarterback, and everybody's like, maybe you should be this, maybe you should be a running back, maybe try this out. He's like, no, this is what God wants me to do. So he went to baseball. Exactly, God's plan. That's 2 references right there. And now, granted, he's killing it in the minor leagues. He went from football to baseball, and he's actually really doing good in AA. So, God's plan, and props to to our little disciple over there. But back to the basketball, back to the NBA draft. I do agree with you that youth is really important, especially nowadays, because teams look to build teams in the NBA draft. Yeah. I mean, look at the names. You got Bagley III, you got Michael Porter Jr. I will say this, though. I'm really surprised at how low Trae Young and Grayson Allen are on this list, though.
Trae Young is going to be affected because of height, and Grayson Allen is due to
I think. Do you think? Yeah, because due to the controversy that's been around him, like he's going to trip people and get like $50,000 fines.
But he's also the hurt as far as he's hurt by the age factor because he's not young. He's a senior. He was a senior. Like he's coming in. He would be coming in what, like 20, well, 21, 22.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you think a team is going to draft him, you're getting.
Well, I think youth is a factor in the NBA draft. I think it's also another big factor is how NBA ready are you from what they see at the college level?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these kids, especially if they're like Mr. Basketballs at their state and they go to a big college like Kentucky or Duke or like Cal, something like that. I mean, not Cal, UCLA. Cal's anyway.
I mean, that's Pac-10 though. I mean, Pac-12. You still in that?
The Conference of Champions. I'm Luke Walton. We're at the Conference of Champions right here.
Hey, Bobo going to Oregon though, so I don't know.
Hey, Bobo. Anyway, but yeah, so youth is an important factor. It also depends on like how the scouts and the coaches read into it. Like, oh, is this guy NBA ready? Like straight out the draft? Like I can put him in the lineup, or is he going to need time to development? Spoiler alert, they're going to need some time to develop.
That's the obvious.
It also depends on the team's needs. It's like, oh, I got this really good point guard from college. Oh, wait, I got like a weird veteran here.
I got Russell Westbrook on my
team.
I
got Russell Westbrook. I'm like, okay, so you're going to go to the D-League until he maybe, knock on wood. Oh, he's injured. All right, now I need you. Like, right now. Let's go. And then put him back into the storm. They're like, But yeah, I don't see like so much surprise on the NBA draft. I think it'll be interesting to see how the formation not Beyonce.
No. how the draft
How the draft overall, like teams, like who gets the picks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I think this draft is going to be interesting. There's a lot of young people. I'm interested to also see who doesn't get picked and will go back to college.
So keep in mind, because they have to make that decision. Like,
right, that's still a decision though. Do you think they'll
change that?
Yeah. Like, do you think personally that if you are a college basketball player, male or female, I'm not sure how the WNBA draft. So
okay,
if you're said, all right, I'm going to the draft, you don't get picked. And you don't get picked up by anybody.
And you don't have an agent.
Can you go back?
Can
you go back to college? I think you should.
I think you should. I mean, I feel like you should. To answer the other side of it, with women's basketball, they pretty much go 4 years. They like,
yeah, I know.
It's a staple for them anyhow.
Right.
It's like it's 4 years, and then you look at the WNBA. It's no.
WNBA or Europe.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say like. That would have been interesting to see Tamika, like any of the Tennessee
like
girls.
Rebecca Lowe and all them.
Like,
they were like freshmen.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave my freshman year.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah, because that'd be
kind of dope.
They build on they focus and build on development strongly. But yeah, as far as it's just like I talked about it. I think I gave it attention last week. There's a guy who played in the All-American game. And I don't know if you may or may not know the story. He played an All-American game. He looked pretty solid. He had a decent showing, but he was in the midst of the game. He was supposed to go to Syracuse. He said, "Nah, bump that. I'm not going to Syracuse. I'm going to the G League." And
oh yeah, I remember. I don't remember the kid's name.
So you have those options.
But here's another thing though. A lot of people don't know that at 18, you technically can go to the G League. Right. You can, I mean,
he introduced that idea, him doing that.
Right, but him introducing the idea had the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver's like, I mean, technically he can. He's of legal age. Right. He can make the decision to try to work towards a G League. Yeah. Like, but, it's like, we want people to go to college for, 1 or 2 years, blah, 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 blah. But
I see the one and done rule being gone in like the next 5 years.
I'm gonna be interested to see how the NCAA even survives
after the scandal.
Yeah, after the scandal stuff and all that. Yeah, I mean, I think it will because the NBA basically has a free amateur league and they don't have to really pay for it. Right. But they also have the G League, which is their professional amateur league, which works for them.
Well, I just talked about this shameless plug on episode 164.
Go listen to it after this one.
163 NBA 2K League. The 2K E League, sports league. Yeah. So with that being the case, I mean, I know that's not the same as this, but I mean, that's another revenue, another source of income, whether people realize it or not. Oh yeah, and it's more exposure for the sport. But as far as like to kind of chime in or tunnel in or channel in with the draftees or the potential draftees, I think this is a decent class. I will say this, and this is probably going to be a surprise. DeAndre Ayton is not going third. He's going to go first. Sorry.
Hot take.
Yeah, that's a Woj bomb. You heard it first. I feel like DeAndre Ayton, because you have to look at it. You think if you can get a 7'1" big man that actually can move, he actually looked not too bad at Arizona. Now I'm not taking let's be clear. All right. I'm taking nothing away from Marvin Bagley as a player. I think Marvin Bagley is going to be a star beyond belief when he gets to the NBA.
Superstar status in a few years.
I feel like in 3 years he can make an All-Star. That's possible. I mean, you have to keep in mind, like,
I mean, no,
because you factor in.
I'm nodding my head in agreement. Yeah,
like because you look at players that are possibly going to leave. Like you don't know, right. Like LeBron. Like
the future is bright.
Right. I mean, he has a very. I don't want to, and to be fair, I hate using this term. He really does have an upside. Like he was NBA. He's okay. Between Marvin Bagley and DeAndre Ayton, and this is going to be even stronger. Bagley is more NBA ready. Yes, I will say that. Yeah. But draft wise, you can't. If you see DeAndre Ayton on your board and you need a center and you have a chance to build,
I don't know, man. The only reason why I say about DeAndre Ayton, it might be questionable, is if Mo Bamba's still on the board.
This is true.
That dude can
ball. Bamba can play. Yeah, because you witnessed that.
I witnessed that. Yeah, because he was in Texas for the VCU game and he had that super like Space Jam-esque dunk of Michael Jordan. Like, oh, I'm stuck from half court. Let me just reach my arm out like super. It looked just like that, and you just slammed it. The whole crowd was like, "Yeah, oh."
They
went for Rana. Like, you know what you did, and he even looked. He's like, I even asked him, and he's like, "How did you do that?"
Yeah,
I just did it. I was like,
yeah,
okay, you can just normally do that, whatever.
Because he has natural talent. So
he has natural talent. He has height advantage, like Ayton does. He's just more raw. Pause.
It's real.
He has a really good skill set. He just needs more time to polish it and become a superstar at the NBA level. Because with his height and his athleticism already, he's going to be at a really good advantage coming into the league. It just depends on how much time he gets to develop on his weak points and if he gets to a good team. Which, if you're in the top 5, it's going to be kind of tough.
Yeah, you can be on a trash team.
You never know what happens in the NBA.
All right, so we'll close on this, and then we'll spin to the current NBA. If you were, matter of fact, you're a Kings fan, so we can do this. You're fine. Kings got the number 1 draft pick.
We need to get the time machine. Vince Carter to be 20 years old.
In a perfect world.
In a perfect. Sorry, it's not karaoke. My fault.
If you had the opportunity, based on your team, based on your needs, based on the availability, you have the number 1 draft pick.
Oh,
you have the ping pong balls have landed for you to get the lottery pick, and you have the number 1 draft pick. Adam Silver walks up to the podium with the first pick in the 2018 NBA draft. The Sacramento Kings select.
Oh, I think I would have to go with Marvin Bagley.
Okay.
Because as a Kings fan, we have a very good youthful team of prospects. We got like Frank Mason, we got the Fox. It's like if we had Bagley, that'd just be like one of the main pieces we would get to possibly get into the 8th seed picture.
True. Okay.
For Sacramento.
Yeah.
For Sacramento.
True. Though.
So yeah, out of like you said earlier, out of all the prospects, I think Marvin Bagley is the more NBA ready.
Yes.
I would also not be mad if DeAndre Ayton or Mohamed Bamba came to Sacramento because they would be a very good paint presence.
Yeah, because that'll kind of benefit with
right.
compared to Cauley Stein.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, me being a Kentucky guy, I was devastated, but that's not
devastated.
So,
but yeah, there's if every team can see some piece in the top 15, top 20 to be like, oh, that could be a game changer if I have the right pieces in my system.
Yeah.
So all the top draftees on the mock drafts, they're going to be game changers in a few years.
One way or another. That's fair. Okay. I'll go with that.
Right on.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Speaking of the NBA, let's talk about the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah.
Playoffs?
Apparently those are things in the NBA. I didn't know. From all our experience in pickup basketball.
Buckets for days.
3-point field goal!
So to be fair, the Eastern Conference is pretty much set up in so many words.
Sorry, Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit has gone fishing.
Hey, Blake, at least the Clippers didn't get in, am I right? Hey!
This is very true. So, looking at the... So we'll do this. We'll go ahead and, since we're sitting with the East,
all right,
we'll look at how the seedings are right now.
Not making the finals.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, I know. I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're not a hot take program. I'm sorry. Here's my thing. Toronto.
Let's shoot it.
All right, let's look. You got Toronto, you got Boston, you got Philly, you got Cleveland, you got Indiana, Milwaukee, Miami, and Washington. Mm-hmm. Washington sure as hell is not. I'm sorry. Can I swear?
No, you could. Yeah,
Washington sure as hell is not getting past Toronto.
Yeah, get your shit off. You good? I do explicit content all day. I'm ready.
You're saying parental advisory, explicit content, lyrics, and all that stuff.
Profanity
advised. Anyway,
hide your kids, hide your wife.
So anyway, back to God's plan. Toronto
dead. And the OVO with the 6-1.
They probably gonna wear the OVO uniforms in the first game.
If they do. They need to be.
But anyway, back to God's plan. Toronto is such an interesting team. Like their offense is great. DeRozan.
You bought it. No, let me cut the shit.
Okay.
DeRozan is inconsistent.
Oh, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say the whole team's inconsistent when it comes to elimination basketball.
No, I'm sorry. So all right. gonna let you finish because I'm gonna hear everything you got for Toronto, and then I'm gonna give a very polite assessment.
Okay, thanks, Kanye. Anyway,
My bad.
okay, so like I said, I don't think Toronto is going to make the NBA Finals because, like we said, their consistency is inconsistent, especially when it's trash. Wow, wow.
Listen, this is
No, go ahead. You said trash. No, you have the floor, sir.
This is the
I'm not
past.
getting to this one.
This is the all right.
I wouldn't say they're trash. I would say
Okay, I'll give you.
They can at least make it to the semis.
I'll give
I can
you-
see them making it at least to the semis because again, Washington ain't going nowhere.
I'll give you a good question, and this will tell everything that I need to know.
Okay.
If you were to look at backcourts in the NBA right now, even with Washington being an 8 seed, and you
Trash.
have John Wall
Trash.
and Bradley Beal as a backcourt.
Trash.
If you look at all the backcourts in the NBA, do
Right.
you put Kyle Lowry and DeRozan in the top 5?
in the top, the whole in the East or in the whole
In the NBA.
In the NBA, oh hell no.
Okay. Do you put them in the top 5 in the East?
Mm,
Mind you, Cleveland is LeBron and whoever.
I know. I'm like Cleveland's a cheat code, like we usually say.
LeBron and LeBron.
Cleveland's not in. Yeah, Cleveland's in the top 5 regardless. If I'm looking at the East, I would say
And the tough
the
part is
reason
you
why I'm
can't-
saying it, they may be because Boston doesn't have Kyrie, and when they don't have Kyrie, they drop.
they're
It literally be between them, Indiana, and possibly Toronto for the top 5 backcourts.
okay.
If you play in the Kyrie injury, now
Right,
if,
right.
if everybody's fully healthy, no, they'll probably be like 6 or something.
Right on the 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Literally on the 6.
So many Drake references. Back on the subject though. Yeah, so that's my hot take. I think Toronto's good. I think their offense is they're 59-22 in the making of this podcast, so clearly their offense is doing something correct.
The problem is
is just the opponents in the East. You got Boston, even though they don't have Kyrie. Mm-hmm.
I think Jason Tatum is going to have a
I think
breakout.
Jason Tatum's going to have a really good rookie debut in the playoffs.
He won't get Rookie of the Year. It sucks, but
Yeah, that's going to mumble.
wait, time out before we do this because this is reckless.
All right.
Ben Simmons of Mitchell Rookie of the Year right now. I have to, man. Come on. This is the past.
You know, man, I would have to bring up their stats if I was going to quote on this
That's
one.
true. That's fair.
You know what? Let's. If I had to do it like right now, like
Yeah.
at this first second, I probably have to roll with Ben Simmons
Okay. All right.
because him and Embiid and that whole Philadelphia program, like no one thought that would. I mean, people thought it would happen.
No one
just
was
like
sure.
not right now.
No one was sure how. No one had a certainty of how it would work,
Right.
especially with it being
The fa-
the exact opposite. Because Embiid is the shooter, and Ben Simmons is the driver.
Right.
Ben Simmons can drive to the basket, and legitimately,
Basically, Simmons is LeBron of the old Cleveland Cavaliers, and Embiid turned into Kyrie as a 7-footer.
right. The only tough part is I feel like Ben Simmons has a lot of pressure on him because, as you just stated, there's a huge LeBron reference to like him being put in the LeBron conversation.
Well, there's people still talking like he's the new version of Magic Johnson, which I can see because of the
Magic, yeah, because Magic had no J.
yeah. So I was like,
I can-
now Ben Simmons starts shooting sky hooks from like the 3-point line, I'll be like, yeah, he's not Magic.
He's in his own world.
He is beyond Magic.
Right.
So, all right. So, looking at the East, like which team which team out of this do you think has the best shot of
Other
making-
than the obvious,
I mean,
I'm.
do you really think Cleveland's going to make it out again?
Why not?
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. All right, you've gotten your shit off.
All right.
Now it's gonna pass back to me because you've already made
sports and stuff.
Hey, so you've made my Toronto point very clear.
Yep.
Because I'm the bad guy. Like I literally am
the bad guy.
Yeah, because I just don't. Toronto being a number 1 seed does not mean a damn thing to me. First and foremost, let's just put it out.
Well,
there.
yeah, it's the East.
But I mean, even beyond that, I just think it's the tough part is, and this is the best reference I have, and the cleanest way for me to put it is, if you took right now the sorry, I'm gonna give you a lumbar because I know you're back over there struggling.
Are you good?
You sure?
Yeah, we're good. I don't
We're gonna look at Guy.
look at God. I don't need.
All right, we're gonna
I
take.
don't need God's playing Toronto. I got it right
Sorry,
here.
we got.
Okay.
All right, sacrifice. See if you said. You gotta. I'll have you check the chair out after the show.
Oh yeah, we got a job to do. Let's
This
keep
is
on
like
topic. Let's keep on
no, you can focus. So
Stay focused, man.
So Toronto's biggest thing is during the regular season, the lights are on. The bills are paid. Everything's popping. When game 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs begins,
In Toronto.
the switch is broken. And you don't know whether the lights are going to be maintained for that period of time.
It also depends on the opponent.
Yeah, so in this case, them playing Washington isn't going to be that bad.
No, it's just depends.
But-
It depends on if Cleveland's on their side of the bracket, which
But looking at how things are right now, Cleveland is pretty much. I see Cleveland staying in the 4. I just that's just my assessment. I mean, Philly
Right.
has 2 games remaining.
Yeah.
But Cleveland, if they were to pull off a win, that's fine. But even if they get one win, I think based on the tiebreaker, Philly would still have it,
Right.
Because they have the series lead. But that being the case, you look at Philly. Philly can kind of go as far as they carry themselves, like because you think Ben Simmons. You have their team is going to be exposed heavily in the playoffs because they have no playoff experience at all, other than JJ Redick.
I think this is the first time in a couple of years, maybe even a decade, that you really don't know who's coming out of the East.
I'm saying Cleveland, but I'm with you. I get what you're saying. No, I'm
like there's usually like
it's
like
parity.
that one team in the East was like, all right, this is the alpha, and then you got the people that are like, I'm here too, but like, nah, they're gonna win.
It depends on what Toronto we see. I think that's my best way I can put it. Like I really want to.
It also depends on like the lower seeds. Like I mean, you got Milwaukee with the Greek Freak, you got D-Wade County in Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, no one.
And Indiana could come out.
I'm the only team
that
that
you're
I
not
don't
sold on is Washington. You sound like
I'm
you're
not sold on is Washington.
I feel like there's a lot of angst about them. You're just not feeling it.
I don't know. It's just
okay. All right.
John Wall and Brady Beal, like they're good players. It's just
you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't know.
I can see through Toronto to Miami being like, all right, we can get a run going and get hot and make our way to the final.
Right.
I mean, in my personal opinion, I don't think Boston's going to do it because Kyrie Irving is going to not having Kyrie.
He's out. Yeah,
he's out.
He's.
So
I mean,
basically,
put that on Tatum and Brown is going to be tough.
Yeah, and they're capable of doing it, but it's gonna take a toll on them.
Right.
And I don't see Toronto doing it because they've had history, as we all know.
I mean, I think they can change this, they can flip the switch, but they got to do it and show that they can actually. Because you got to factor in if you go against a Cleveland or a Philly. I mean, even a Philly.
Yeah.
You have to be ready for a 6 or 7 game.
blowing in your ear in Indiana.
Yeah, because he's still on the docket. You know what?
That's a technical foul. Anyway,
my podcast. If I get put off a Spreaker, it was nice knowing y'all. I appreciate y'all listening and tuning in.
All right, let's go out west because this is interesting though.
The West
is always on and popping, but this year it's just
so. All right, I got to take my bias head off because
Mr. Rocket.
Sorry, I mean James Harden is.
We're 64-16.
No, 64-16 don't mean nothing because No, it really doesn't because there was a year when we were actually a higher seed than Golden State, and
you remember the time
when we bodied ourselves, and
do you remember the time
when we just failed,
girl.
Just not even gonna start with
karaoke at Baja on Fridays and Saturday nights.
San Antonio, I've already said this. Kawhi Leonard is not gonna be playing this season.
Although shout out to San Antonio for actually making the playoffs because a lot of people thought that this was going to be the year that they did not make it.
They have to continue to trend. It's only fitting, especially once because I think after this year, I think Tony and Ginobili need to just go ahead and say we did our part.
Hey, what's up, Tim? Oh, you over there? Yeah, we're gonna join you.
Yeah, because I mean, they're easily first ballot Hall of Famers, and that's down the pike.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the West goes, now I will say this, and this is just my open, direct statement.
Mm-hmm.
Portland is a surprise team for me because
Damian Lillard finally has a team.
Right. That's true.
And they're actually playing like a team. It's not 4 dudes and a superstar point guard, Damian
That's
Lillard.
trying to carry everything.
He actually has help, and they're gelled together. Their offense, their backcourt and frontcourt are actually legit.
Mm-hmm.
Defense is it's not elite, but it's good enough to get them wins. Hence why they're in third right now.
Right.
So if games go their way, they can make
a run.
They could make a run.
But do I have them in the finals? No. The finals for me. So I don't. So I'm not gonna say it's Cleveland and Golden State. Like, let's put that out there first and foremost.
So are you seeing a Houston Golden State Western Conference final?
Yes.
Okay.
So first and foremost, let's go ahead and get the rec list, because we have to do the play-in game as it's being seen between Minnesota and Denver. Whoever wins that is congratulated by playing Houston. If they were to have a tougher matchup, it would be Minnesota. Denver would not stand a chance against Houston. Minnesota may give them a fit, especially with Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler is a pestering defender.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as, I mean, you look at it, Houston's playing pretty much. They're playing pretty much with a wild hand, because you think you have Chris Paul, you got James Harden, you have Clint Capella, who's
you basically have a royal flush in your hand. If you're Houston, you're just afraid to play it.
Yeah.
At this time.
And the tough part about it also is running into Golden State. You know Golden State's gonna come in full force, because they're right now. Everyone's not. Listen, NBA fans, pay attention. Don't act stupid. They're resting Steph Curry for the right moment.
Oh, yeah.
And that's likely once they.
That's what all the teams that know that if we don't have this player as close to 100%, we're not gonna do a good playoff run.
Exactly.
It's coaching strategy. It's like, hey, rest your main players. You already got the seed locked up. Make sure they're rehabbing. Make sure that they're good to go, and then start your run.
Yeah, because in this case. They did, and this was the same occurrence last year with Golden State, because they did this with Kevin Durant.
Right.
Durant didn't play much, and it was like, oh, they don't have Durant, but it's like,
and then he became an MVP.
Yeah, you still have other players, like, and you also, like, people fail to realize with Golden State, their biggest X factor will always show up.
Yes.
Iguodala. Iguodala can have that breakout game at any point. But
Draymond Green can kick somebody.
Right, and never forget. But I do like Utah. Utah can look good in the playoffs. It's going to be a tough run, especially if they were to play. If they were to play New Orleans, it's going to be a unique and interesting game. If they play San Antonio, that might be an upset.
I'm just impressed with Utah that they got rid of Gordon Hayward. Well, not got rid of, but
Gordon Hayward decided to go to Boston,
and they still managed to somehow stay relevant and fighting at the top 4 spot of the Western Conference, which is remarkable. Yeah. And you got New Orleans, of course, with the unibrow, and I was gonna say the beard, but I don't think DeMarcus Cousins is considered the beard because he trims it off a little bit. Yeah. But they basically got the Twin Towers in the paint. So
well, now keep in mind, Cousins is out.
Now, Grant, that's all I'm saying.
But yeah, I got you. Yeah, having that
even
that
with one of the Twin Towers there,
that's true.
That's still like a really big preference. And
do you see New Orleans making a strong run though?
I don't see them making a strong run. I can see them if Utah and New Orleans stay in the 4 and the 5. I can see them upsetting Utah. Okay, but I don't see them making it past
the Big Two. Yeah. Okay, because I feel like it's just it's predominantly the Big Two, and it's not. Right. I think Golden State relaxed a little this year because they're doing the playoff run more. And looking at it as, hey, let's just secure a strong seed, which they did. Because a lot of teams, like if you look at it, the remainder of the West, between 3rd and 10th is 6 games. 6 games win. 6 games won or whatever. Of course, LA was happy to be, both LAs were happy to be there. But you mainly just have those 2 teams, that big gap between them. It's just going to come down to, when the playoffs come and you get down to semis, especially conference finals, which team is going to show up and this is going to go on both sides. I'm saying this for both sides, to East and West. If Toronto makes it to the finals, which DeMar DeRozan will we see? If they make it to the conference finals,
probably the one that makes it to the playoffs.
Sorry. If Houston makes it to the conference finals, which James Harden are we going to get?
Probably the Oklahoma City version.
I mean, I would like to get the Oklahoma City version that actually wanted to score, not the Oklahoma City before.
Not the Sixth Man of the Year one,
no,
the rookie one.
He was. I think he was.
Ooh, speaking of Oklahoma City, sorry, but
no, you good? Yeah.
Look at that 2-7 matchup though. If that is.
It depends on it. The tough. All right, so let's. No. We're gonna nope because you.
I'm just saying. You know damn well Russell Westbrook's gonna be like.
I mean, Westbrook's gonna. Bring
I want that. Russell Westbrook will be the guy that walks into the court at the gym and see that team playing is like, yo, we're playing you. I don't care who calls next. We got it right now. Let's go.
And he'll be fine. Paul George, like this. All right. No one said this, and I think I may have talked about this on the show before. No one wants to acknowledge the fact that you have a weird 3-headed monster because you got
the shortest one leading the team.
You have Russell Westbrook, which is the monster, and then you have the two other quote unquote monsters that are and they're just there to be nice. Like, oh, okay. Like Paul George is a very passive player. But he's had a solid stat line. I'm not taking nothing off of that.
But if he gets aggressive with it, it's like, oh, he can be the second head on the monster.
Right. And Carmelo's been a no-show.
Carmelo's just happy he's in the playoffs for the first time in 5 years.
Yeah, but that's of minimal to no benefit if it's in this.
I think they'll definitely come out and perform. I just don't think that Oklahoma City.
Carmelo got to play better.
Yeah,
he's got to play better.
If those three start turning it on, and especially if they play Golden State, which is already an emotional game, regardless.
Yeah,
I think that will probably be the series to watch in the whole playoffs.
I didn't even think, and I'm failing to factor in because it is going to be Westbrook and Durant again. But
but
with Westbrook and Durant, it's always
going to be emotional.
Westbrook is always going to bring it anyway because his focus is always the opponent, regardless.
Right.
Like when Oklahoma played Houston, I think it was last year, the year before. He brought it, and it was just, it was already like, hey, I mean, I'm gonna bring my A game, but it was they were playing Houston, but I just think this year, if Oklahoma and Golden State have a good series, it's gonna be the factor of how it works out at home when it goes back to Oklahoma City. So we didn't chop this story like strong. I didn't realize how much we chopped. There's a lot to get into. I'm not.
All right, so our next sports. Let's head to the pitch here. Talk about some shit. We're not talking about Premier League.
No, this is definitely. I mean, I'll give.
Sorry.
We're gonna let that attempt to be what was the UEFA intro. If you want to just pull it up on YouTube, just look it up on your own time.
I'm not gonna sing it because I'm terrible at singing.
You that karaoke night moment.
I was like, I need some water here ASAP
with ASAP Rocky. So he did, as I mentioned earlier, he did come in with the kit, and I ain't knocking it because they just had a good run. Liverpool did play the second leg of their match today. They won 2-1. Based on the aggregate, it was 5-1 for the overall match.
Say it again.
I'm not saying it again. I'll go to the next match.
All right.
No, but honestly, Liverpool looked like they were in form regarding with Man City, and I know Man City is like pretty much a shoe-in for the Premier League.
Yeah, they basically have the name on the trophy. Yeah. But it's just amazing that Liverpool basically fueled into something special in a tournament, not like in the Premier League and league play, but it happened in not only this tournament, it happened to the Champions League tournament, which is the premier of European tournaments,
right?
And they've gotten on this magical run. Like they have Mane, Sadio Mane, Firmino, the Yachts from Arsenal, which not sure that something from Arsenal actually was good these days, but thank you, Arsenal. And of course, you have the Egyptian Messi known as Mohamed Salah, which people are calling him now, and they just destroyed the Premier League champions in tournament play, and now await to see who they'll play in the semifinals.
Yep,
along with
the shocker of
Roma.
The day, because you didn't. I don't think you knew, because you didn't. I was wondering if you had knew this story, because I was actually looking at.
Well, I tweeted about it, and I didn't realize what I tweeted until. So you know, the moment you just tweet something like, "Oh, this happened," blah blah blah. Yeah. And you read your timeline, I'm like, "Wait, did that really happen?"
Right.
And then I looked it up, and then you talked about it. I was like, "They lost. Yeah. Barca is eliminated.
Barca is eliminated." And the ironic part is, everyone I think had Barca and Real is kind of like the favorites. Those are mostly the favorites in by far. I mean, looking at it right now, Real is still in the driver's seat as far as being a favorite. But
yeah, but the fact that Barca was up 4-1 after the first leg, Roma scored 3 goals in the second.
Yeah,
like that's insane. Roma's not like bad fried chicken or like chopped up stuff like that. Like you want to throw it away in the garbage because they're trash. Like this team is actually really, really good, and they got it done. Yeah. Like I say, if Barcelona came from 6-1 on aggregate to beat PSG and make it to the next round,
that says a lot.
Anything is possible.
Yeah,
but those are the two. You got Roma and Liverpool in the semis. Now they await to see who will join them. It'll be either Bayern
or Sevilla,
or Real Madrid or Juventus.
Yeah.
Which, if you were looking at the next matchups, who out of those? Who do you see? I see Madrid.
Yeah, Madrid's kind of a shoo-in for that.
Yeah, I see Madrid, but Sevilla, I can totally see them upsetting.
You think they can get Bayern?
I think they can. I think they can upset Bayern.
It'll be a good match. I mean,
because Sevilla only lost because they conceded an own goal, and then Bayern just happened to get another goal.
They just happened to get another goal.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying Bayern's slummed. Bayern's definitely not trash. Bayern Munich is definitely not trash.
Right.
But Sevilla is known for upsetting really big teams in tournaments like this.
Yeah.
And they're only down the goal in aggregates. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's close. If Roma can beat Barcelona 3-0, you never know.
The difference, though, is they're in Bayern. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I'm just going to put it out there.
No, you're right.
That's the only spin I have from that side of it.
It's Real Madrid versus Juventus. Cristiano Ronaldo
has been just doing
Ronaldo's gonna
Ronaldo things.
Ronaldo pose. He's probably going to dab on him and other stuff. So. But yeah, Champions League. It's good.
Champions League.
And we're not going to talk about Premier League because somebody's a Chelsea fan. So
no, I'm not upset. I mean, this is actually Chelsea has had a decent run this year. They did what I expected this year. I was never as a fan. You had to be a transparent fan. I never put like a high expectation of.
True.
Because a lot of times, and I've seen it multiple times. It's very rare that I've seen a team repeat.
Yes.
As far as for Premier, like in the years that
I repeat anything almost.
Right, yeah. So I mean, in this case, you look at it, and then teams now with Premier League how it's set up, you're more so teams are as soon as the transfer loan option comes, or that moment comes of let's start picking up folks.
Yep.
People are on like, let me get this guy, let me get this dude. I'm letting him go. Like especially with Chelsea being just proud and risky and comfortable in saying, let me go ahead and we're gonna let Peter Cech go, and we'll just let Courtois run things. And it was like Courtois looked good, but Courtois had some struggle matches, especially against Barca. Yeah. So I mean, it's the way the game goes.
Right.
So this is, I guess, the mixture of sports and stuff in a sense.
It's sports entertainment.
It's sports entertainment. Yeah, we'll call it. Well, actually, yeah, because we do have one other sports story afterward. Right. So this will be kind of another pass. I'm gonna kind of be
the podcast about
the background and just listening and just kind of chill. So I'm gonna let you go ahead, take it away, Kaze.
Oh, thank you. Well, for the people that are a fan of the professional wrestling circuit, also known as WWE or whatever wrestling aspect that you prefer. Mm-hmm. WrestleMania was last Sunday, and judging for me as a WWE fan, blew me away. Pause. From comparing it from last year. Shut up. Again, that's why I said pause. We are adults here. It blew me away. Pause.
You done lost track of it now, but we got you.
I hate you so much.
You don't. Lies.
But anyway, WrestleMania was a very, very good event. One of the big spectacles, if you will, and the grandest spectacle of them all was the debut of Ronda Rousey, former UFC bantamweight champion, total badass, ass kicker, female version, and all, in an actual wrestling match. She was tagged with the Olympic gold medalist known as Kurt Angle against the COO Triple H, who, if you've followed WWE for years, you know who that is, and you also know his wife, Stephanie McMahon, in a mixed tag match. Now, for me, as the fan, I didn't have any expectations going into this. I was like, oh, it's a celebrity, like she signed a contract, like, oh, she's going to do like one match and whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be like a fun celebrity ad-lib and make them win, blah, 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 according to the rating. This probably almost stole the show because Ronda Rousey not only looked great,
Okay.
she looked like she looked like she was about to fight in the UFC, like right then and there in shape. She also got actually into the ring. She did some very good maneuvers. She actually took damage. Mm-hmm. Like she looked like almost a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
In her first debut.
Okay.
And the way that they got her ready for it, and the finish was great. The whole match itself was like, okay, I can rock with this. It looks like I'm looking like a regular mixed tag match of actual professionals, which is really good. So the real question for everybody is like, okay, so that was a good debut. So what happens next? Which I think for Ronda Rousey, because she actually has a legit contract with the WWE.
Okay.
And she's actually taking it this serious just for a debut match. It'll be really interesting to see over time what her storyline will be in the mixture of like the main roster, like Sasha Banks and Bayley, them.
Right.
In the women's division. Hell, a lot of people's like she can definitely be a women's champion in that division as time passes, and who's the champion and who else is performing, who's coming up from the other indie rosters coming up to WWE, who she could be in a rivalry with.
Yep.
But overall, I was very surprised. Ronda Rousey, WWE superstar, it could be legit. She
seemed like she was in her element, and the internet didn't come for her, which was
right. I'm just looking at the photo, just like she looks like she's about to fight. She looks like she's about to take her costume off and go to war and throw down for the UFC belt. Like,
and that's how it should be. I mean, it's like you said, it is sports entertainment, and I think sometimes
yes, we know it's scripted.
Come on. All right, because So I'll tell this story because a lot of people may or may not know this. Because I actually had someone that was going to invite me to watch it, and I was like, yeah, I would watch it. But the thing for me now is if I watch it, would be like a chick watching football. Because I'd be sitting there like every so often.
So many questions.
I'd be like, who is this? What's going on?
Right.
So I'd rather just like, I understand. Like I was watching. I'm old. Like I was watching wrestling back when like sorry. Like I'm just being honest. Like I was in the NWO stage. So it's like NWO. Like New World Order was where I stopped.
For life.
Right. That's where I was. Like
Yes, I'm a nerd and I don't apologize.
We never apologize.
Hey. Hey.
If I feel bad for y'all ears. I'm just gonna be honest.
That's why I did it lightly. Hey.
No, the microphones.
My fault.
Told you that mic
editing.
Hey, huh?
Strategic marketing.
Mm-hmm. Back in the range.
Go on.
No, but I've like a lot of wrestlers who are performing now are still surprising that they're still wrestling Undertaker. But it's all for the business. So I mean, I don't, like I said, I may or may not watch it now, but I do like to keep up with stories because I get notifications and information about it.
Oh yeah,
consistently. But I did, like I said, I knew like when you bringing this up would be a good little tidbit to go into and talk about.
It's definitely especially with WrestleMania, it was entertainment spectacle. It's like basically everybody's like, all right, this is the show we got to bring. It is their Super Bowl, and it's a hell of a show to watch every year. Yeah, like I remember like back in the days when wrestling was still around, but it wasn't as popular as it was now. And I wouldn't watch a show for like a whole year. But then I'll be like, oh, hey, WrestleMania's coming up this weekend. Oh, I got to watch it.
Right. Exactly.
And especially after this one, I'm definitely going to be watching it next year,
Yeah.
Blessings and, time and all that
how things
stuff,
go.
Mm-hmm. But, it's definitely, WWE has definitely gotten hot at this point in time, especially with WrestleMania and the shows afterwards. They're getting people back into like,
let's ease
all right, we're getting back into the entertainment spectacle part of it and bringing out people that are like, oh, hey, these guys are really good.
Yeah, people who are relevant, not just somebody that's just up
not like the old legends like anymore. It's like new blood, and they're really good. Yep. So, especially with Ronda Rousey, it'll be interesting to see where they
how
go,
how they
play her character from there.
I'm with that.
All right. So what's next on the
docket? We have so this is gonna be a fun one because this is one of the few times that I can say there's no there's no information really to read on, but it's just gonna kind of be like an improv because I got a couple of like this.
So this is the stuff part of the podcast.
This can be considered stuff because this still is sports related because we're gonna talk about Conor McGregor
Oh boy,
We'll talk about that because this is sports, but it's gonna also be the
it's
stuff.
sports and stuff mixed with violence and
'Cause
childishness.
He lost his mind.
Oh, you think?
I mean, all right.
Let's get some backstory here.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a time. Yeah.
There was this Irish fighter named Conor McGregor.
All right, you gotta get us to the plot because you.
Oh.
Time.
Well, back then, the Big Bang Theory happened.
Oh Lord, you know.
Oh,
what?
sorry, my fault. Okay, so Conor McGregor, UFC featherweight champion, UFC lightweight champion, first UFC fighter to hold two belts at the same time.
Yep.
Big factor. He was also the guy that fought Mayweather as a UFC fighter, MMA versus boxing. Got a big payday, even though he lost.
Got bodied.
He got that work.
He got polite.
Even though I think the whole spectacle was trash because everybody's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I watched this." You knew that was going to be a damn spectacle from the way they were promoting it.
It was
4 days straight of, oh, we're going to go to New York, we're going to go to Tokyo, we're going to go to Chi-Town.
It's like traveling more than
they were talking trash and then making race jokes and mama jokes. I was like,
you could tell when
they literally tried to do like a whole WWE spectacle of advertisement, except that's not how it works.
That's
definitely not how it works.
That's a perfect.
It looked like I was like looking like I'm looking at a WWE program right now, a bad one.
Right.
But anyway, so McGregor already lost his featherweight title. He didn't lose it. He didn't defend it, and they took it away from him.
Right.
So the main thing in recent day was about his lightweight championship because he stepped away because he welcomed his newborn child into the world with his girlfriend, wife. I'm not unsure at this moment. I think it's
we'll call it a grife.
You know, his significant other.
Yeah,
there we go. So UFC had an event coming up for the lightweight title between Tony Ferguson, who was the interim lightweight champion, and Khalid Nurmagomedov.
Words with friends.
He's Russian. I can't say his last name. I'm sorry, sir. I don't want you to beat me up or ground and pound me or submit me because you'll probably do it in about 25 seconds.
That's how you earn points.
Yeah. So that fight was scheduled. Ferguson injured his leg, so he pulled out. Pause. And then Dana White subbed him in for the featherweight champion, Max Holloway, and he was going to try to be the second person to get 2 belts and hold them consecutively. Unfortunately, he had medical issues, so he couldn't fight.
Right.
And so now, while they're trying to figure out an opponent, Conor McGregor, and we have no idea why. Well, we kind of do because
he was in his feelings.
He was in his feelings because there was reports that Khalid had a, I guess, talkative altercation with one of McGregor's teammates. And, he didn't like that. But he went, instead of, handling in the ring like a professional athlete that is a fighter and gets paid millions of dollars to fight somebody that he doesn't like is supposed to, he went to thug, goon, mob ish type tactics that we handled on the streets.
He went.
I'm not shit. I've lived on the street, but I'm not street like that. Okay. So thug like tactics are like, yo, I'm gonna get my crew of 20 goons. We gonna fly from Ireland all the way to New York where the media conference is happening, and we're gonna crash the party. We're going to throw debris. Conor is gonna grab a steel trash can, throw it at a bus, and break the windshield. And of course there's a fighter right there, and he got cut up so bad on his face that he had to pull out from the fight. You had Rose Namajunas, who was the UFC women's strawweight champion, that she was about to get ready to fight Joanna in the rematch, and she was shaken up, but she still fought and won her title defense that night. And you also had another fighter who got injured, and you had your teammate who was part of the goon mob, so he got suspended. So Dana lost 3 fights just because Conor McGregor had issues with Khalid because he's not a professional fighter that can be paid, again, millions of dollars to settle an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what was going on.
I don't think he understood what was going on.
I think he just thought, like, yo, I am the shit. Oh, sorry. I am the shit. I do what I want. I make millions of dollars. 60 G's, baby. Let's do it. And,
the other, I think All right, I got a lot of things with this because I looked at the story, and I think what got me, I don't know if it was on Facebook Live or where it was.
Did you see the UFC embedded video?
Who was that?
Did you see the UFC embedded video?
I did not.
Oh man, it shows the whole aspect of it.
I think TMZ gave like a presentation of the actual. You mean the actual video of what happened as far as
so you know about UFC embedded, their pre-fight series. They do I think like 5 to 6 videos of weeks before the fight, and then of the fighters doing their training.
Yeah.
And they go from the other aspect of what they're doing or what they're doing in life right now.
Okay.
And it basically is a pre-fight builder, but it's on their YouTube. And and when I saw the thumbnail of the latest one, I think it was like episode 3 or 4, I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. It's still on UFC. It has like 2 million views right now. And the thumbnail was literally of Conor McGregor holding the trash can about to throw it. I was like, oh, they do it. Because a lot of people thought that they weren't gonna publish it or create it because of this happening, and everybody's like, oh, this is gonna be on embedded. And then when you see the thumbnail, everybody's like, ooh, I'm gonna watch this.
Give me some juice.
Yeah, and it shows them from the camera crew's perspective, and like it literally looked like gang warfare almost.
It was out of control.
And it was so stupid. Again, you are an MMA fighter. If you have issues, even Dana White's like, look, if you have issues, let me know. We can talk about it, and I can set it up where you can get paid and get your issues, and you can punch people in the face.
But he didn't. That option looked like it was not on McGregor's agenda. I just, the only thing for me, I just didn't understand, like, McGregor's timing was just horrible, and then it doesn't benefit because there was a
pay-per-view and they lost 3 fights.
Yeah, there were as far as charges being placed, he had to go to jail. Yeah. I think he got released. He just recently got released or something like that.
He had a $50,000 bail.
Right. So I mean, you had all of that going. I think what makes it tough, and this is I'm always the brand talker, so it's like for him it was like it affected his image and his persona as a fighter, but then even worse, it affected UFC as a whole because it affects the entire UFC, even though he's just one fighter.
Right.
And that wasn't really seen or looked at.
But that was his persona, if you think about it.
Yeah, he has that zero cares in the world. Like I got that too, but I just come back to like just the timing. The timing was just horrible.
I think the timing from when he was a small local fighter in Ireland, and then he got into MMA, and it was his first UFC fight, and because it was in Boston.
Yeah.
And hold on.
You good?
Excuse me.
All
right, double burp, cool. And it was in Boston. B, he's Irish. If you know anything about Boston and Irish people, that's basically their capital of the United States of America.
Yeah, that's the Holy
Grail. The Holy Grail literally blew up out of the cup, like everything. The wine was gone. It was like a whole flipping party in the ring. And once he won, a lot of people just looked at that and thought, man, he's the future if he keeps this up. And he kept fighting. He got on that win streak, and he got more money. And you know what happened? More money, more problems.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean, long story short, all right, so 2 parts because I forgot the other side. And you asked this, and I guess I'm going to kind of go in. Well, we'll kind of do as a 2-parter because you feel, you stated like what's next. You were stating what's next for Conor.
See, this is interesting because when I'm looking at all this, and maybe that's the cynical part of my brain, it's thinking that, did he do this for publicity? Like a publicity stunt? Because everybody's like, oh, yeah, McGregor's going to fight Mayweather for boxing, he really wants that. But I'm like, nah, it's not going to happen. And then what happened? Boom. Yeah. We see an advertisement and saw a picture, and it was like, it's going down. We're like, oh, God.
I'm going to jump on the second question of that, too, because you brought that up, and I'm going to be blunt because I don't. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because
I'm building up to that second part of the question.
Oh, no,
but I don't think he's done in UFC because he still has 2 fights left on his contract for the UFC. Mm-hmm. And I don't see him going into boxing because he's already making a lot of money. He already has his McGregor Athletics program. He has his Mac Life program with the journalism stuff about MMA, and that's going really well. So he has all these business personas that he's focusing on right now. But UFC fighting and MMA is still part of his life.
Right.
But he has all these other projects that he's working on right now. I don't really see him being fighting right now.
Okay.
Which I can totally see Mayweather going like, I already got a couple million. Let me try. Let's work out a deal so we can do this second round in the MMA. I could totally see that being a thing now because as my cynical part of my brain happened, which is probably in the lower quadrant between section 308 and 3.9, I can totally see this like in the next couple of months be like Mayweather, McGregor, MMA. And I don't think if that happens, I don't think it's going to be as popular. Actually, no, scratch that. I think it might outdo the boxing match.
Okay.
Because it will be in McGregor's element, not Mayweather's, because Mayweather's traditional boxing.
Okay.
Because most people will want A, you look at a Mayweather fight to try and see him lose. B,
True.
It would be MMA. So he would be the rookie going into a different element of the quote-unquote master because he's a master artist in MMA. So that losing factor is like, oh, he's going into a new world. He's going to an experienced fighter in MMA. He might just get punched. He might get tapped out. He might get submitted. Okay. That human emotional factor of like, what if?
Right.
I think it might outsell the boxing match if this happens.
Okay. All right.
You
can see it in my face. And
I can read your face.
Yeah,
I was like, ugh.
All right. His future. Okay, his future with the UFC, I don't think it's going to be too impacted. I think this will happen, but it's going to be a matter of like what he's charged for versus what he's convicted of is going to be night and day.
How they can handle he's getting sued for.
Right. If they can get all of that, like just to come up with a plea and get something to kind of clear that up, then that would be helpful.
Right.
That's fine. Mayweather going into an octagon. I'm sorry. This is the moment because the moment of silence face was there.
I will say this though, we thought the same thing when that happened, and we were like, McGregor's not going into a ring.
But McGregor going into a ring
is more realistic than Mayweather going into a cage.
It's way different than Mayweather going into an octagon. Because in UFC, like you got to remember, Mayweather is about being pretty. Mm-hmm. You will lose all of your prettiness and your beautifulness.
Pretty.
He will catch one good.
He will catch a fade. He will catch a high top fade.
Because I feel like McGregor would just all it would take is just one good kick to his face, and it ain't even gonna be the match continuing. It would be Mayweather jumping out of the ring,
like it's a steel cage match in WWE.
He would be like, "I'm
winner
gone.
by escaping the cage, Floyd Mayweather."
by default and with common sense, I'm leaving with my brain because money can be everything, and I understand like
especially if your name is Floyd Money Mayweather.
But then it's other because they've even mentioned like there was talk about the money they had they didn't have like he's broke, and I'm like, where? He's not broke. You don't let what I think, and this is I always emphasize this with social media. Media confuses people and makes us think, oh, they're having such a hard time or everything looks great. Like it almost, and this is a generic but a perfect example. It's like when somebody takes a picture of a plate, like their food look good. You don't know how it tastes. Same way with this. You don't know what really could be going on with Mayweather. Like we really just go by what we see instead of like what's really going on.
You're right.
Do I think do I feel like McGregor's gonna fight? Hell no. No, I'm sorry. Do I feel like Mayweather's gonna go into the octagon? Hell no.
No. I don't see it happening realistically, but again, the cynical part of my brain, it's like, if the UFC threw a certain amount of money.
Well, my cynical is broken. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. You're a saint.
No, I'm not a saint. I'm just Brian, and I just know there's no. It would be a logical fail if he did it. That's just how I'm looking at it. Lack of
logic.
So
use your name.
Spinning into some more stuff. Walmart is doing something that I don't know how to feel about it. Okay. And I'm gonna kind of explain why. And I guess it's me trying to interpret what they're doing and kind of because they explain it in the story. Walmart is basically doing similar to what Amazon Lockers does. So and the story, like I said, in most cases, I'm usually read story. This story, to kind of summarize it, Amazon decided instead of people saying, hey, I want a package shipped to this address where there's a likelihood that the package won't be received, send it to this locker. I'll go pick it up. You're going to send me a code. I have to know the code in order to get it. Correct. Right. I have no problem with that because I've used it a couple of times and It's the best thing for me.
Wonderful.
Beautiful, marvelous. And Walmart is going with a similar concept as far as doing pickup towers. Now, the pickup towers will be in store.
Yeah, I was like, except it's in the actual store.
That's kind of the spinoff, because then you're looking at it as all right. So Walmart has options as far as buying. Anybody who buys from Walmart knows about ship to store, online ship to store, whatever. Like I did online ship to store, and it was to the point now where I didn't even realize you could park in the space, tell them you're on your way, and they'll bring the item out to you. I was like, oh, well, y'all really trying to...
The future is now.
Yeah, and I don't... Now, whether that Walmart is still doing it or not, I'm not sure.
Right.
But, now with doing this, where does that leave that online shopping option? No, not online shopping option, but that option of, hey, I purchased this item. Can y'all just get it and just give it to me? Mm-hmm. No, we have it over there in the pickup tower. Just go number 4... down the aisle, and that little red set. See those orange boxes? Just go to number 4. Yeah. Put in your code and pick it up. If you have
trouble, just go to layaway.
Right.
They can solve everything.
Yeah, go find a Kmart that does layaway. But yeah, they're adding these pickup towers. It's going to be in 500 stores. I think it can work. I'm not sure yet because it's still new. We have yet to kind of see it be in action, how it's going to kind of process.
I think the main thing about this topic is how, like you said, Walmart uses these. Mm-hmm. I can totally see them doing it as if you were ordering it online, and at the end of, put in your credit card information and hit submit, like, oh, hey, we got your order. It'll be in locker number, blah, 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 at this store that you've selected.
Right.
And I can see them using that as an online. I can also see them as... if you are like on the run and you're ordering, like you're not supposed to be on your phone during traffic,
driving,
but people do what people gonna want to do,
pretty much.
But if you're like on the run, like, hey, I need to buy this stuff's like here, I'm like, I can be on my phone, and you're like, oh, it's right here in the locker,
right? Which
again, it could be an advantage to them because if you have to go into the Walmart to grab your things, mm-hmm. which. Sometimes you go in the store and be like, all right, I got this, I'm good. Then in the back of my mind, like, oh, I didn't buy this, or I didn't buy this.
Right.
And I'm already in the store. I'm like, well, let me just grab this, get a cart right quick, and buy whatever else. Mm-hmm. So that's good marketing right there.
Yeah.
I don't see this being like, this is going to be like an Amazon locker killer. Because I still
No.
And all that other stuff. They're just doing this to compete with Amazon because that's what businesses do.
Between Amazon and UPS. Yeah, because UPS does it as well.
Right. It's a business ploy. Mm-hmm. It could work out to be a good business ploy if they do it correctly. Like I said, doing online order, boom, you get a locker. It's in this locker. And then you have to just go into the store and be on your way.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'll be a good thing for Walmart on that aspect of they're doing it from that business aspect.
Right. Now they do say that in the story as far as because Amazon's disadvantages, they don't have Amazon, and I always bring this story up because I've always thought about it coming up in school. As far as Amazon doesn't have physical locations, like it's a click.
They have warehouses.
Right. It's a click.
It's warehouses. Excuse me.
Warehouses. Go to war. But they have, as far as it being, they're a click and mortar store. So it's like you click, bam, boom, order sent. Whereas with Walmart, it's you can click and go to it online, and it's like, all right, we'll have it at the physical store. You pick it up. Because I've done that with Target, like Target's.
You mean Target?
Target with the apostrophe. But yeah, that
the T, right?
Hey, but I truly will. If it and the 500 towers, it's going to be a matter of where they're doing it. Yeah. Is it coming to Virginia? We're going to move on to the next story. I'm being honest. If anything, it would be at like 1 or 2 stores, if that.
Probably.
It's 500 stores. They say in 500 stores, but then you also got to look at how many Walmart stores are there in the
we shall
country
see in the future
on the next Dragon Ball Z. Twitter is they were looking to make a platform change, but there's a slight delay with doing that due to the impact is based on how it affects the third-party apps. So apps such as Tweetbot, Twitterific, Talon, Tweetings, those are a couple.
Anything with tweet in it.
Yeah. They're looking to make the adjustments as far as push notifications and the auto refresh timeline. After June 19th, they'll be removing the streaming option. Now, I do know that I've used a couple of apps that do have the streaming option. Streaming tweets is not a hit or miss, because the average person who does Twitter usually is okay with, let me just go to Twitter and refresh it and then get all my notifications of tweets. And one thing that was kind of a big deal that many people don't think of is what's called the API for Twitter, because whenever you're looking to get information from Twitter, you want to get it. It's literally like a get it and go. Like you get your information and kind of go on your way. But it's, I guess, trying not to leave that port open too long and some, I guess, security vulnerabilities. They're not saying that really in this story, but they're just kind of trying to see how they want to handle it as far as the third party Twitter apps in looking to use that streaming service. I don't think it's going to be like you said. I mean, I know you made the Impact reference being funny, but in all fairness, I don't see the impact really being intense, because most people are still going to go on Twitter. Twitter just made their big update a couple of months ago as far as extending to 280 characters, which I think the 280 characters I love, but I think what I like most is you can literally tweet like a conversation and just have it look like a thread. So those are like things that are more of a factor. Can we just get, I mean, I just want Instagram be in chronological order. Is that too much? Like, I'm just saying. That's kind of like an A to Z story about Twitter. The closing part of the article states that the app developers are concerned that many folks don't realize that their favorite Twitter app is about to break, so awareness is the first step. Together, we may be able to get Twitter to constructively address this state of affairs before the June deadline. If you want to sound off, and they do have a Twitter page, Twitter Dev, you can tweet your thoughts and, of course, put the hashtag breaking my Twitter. So you can add to all the other hashtags that you use, and that'll get
hashtag blessed.
Hashtag back at the ranch. And we have so these are going to be this is our gaming spin, and I like this cue of
gaming stuff.
So this story is gonna how long have we? Wow, not bad. Almost an hour and a half.
Hey,
you know what? Good night. We're done. Mike checked. So Grand Theft Auto has been out since September the 13th of 2013.
Yep.
Only reason I know that date because I was in line waiting, and I remember talking to backstory. Cool story, bro.
The reason I know this because I bought it twice. Bought it on 360. I bought it on the one.
I bought it twice, and I'm mad because the second one I can't play. But anyway, we're not gonna have an emotional moment. But when I got,
are you crying?
I am emotionally. It's
okay.
Just let me be great.
Okay.
I don't have a system right now.
You need a tissue?
Nope.
I can see a system. Oh, wait.
Kleenex.
Hey, no, I got this back thing.
Good night. You know what? We're gonna just continue with this story.
Go on.
So Grand Theft Auto has brought in over $6 billion.
And not in the in-game currency. It's like real money.
Just generic people buying stuff.
Yeah, you can buy like all the apartments.
The shark cards. Yeah. Every time I think about this, I always think about a friend of mine. I feel bad that it happened. Like someone had their card used to get shark cards. And they use the shark cards to buy like a bunch of stuff and just blow it up.
That is crazy that people are stealing stuff to buy microtransactions in video games.
We've talked about that on the podcast before, as far as like the microtransaction life is
it's a thing.
Yeah, it is, because I mean you have some who are open to buying new products. I mean buying items, like using real money to buy money for a game without having to do the grind, because in that way, okay, I can get this apartment, or I can do these things to help my character rank up, or buy these weapons, things of that nature. So,
or just buying like cosmetic stuff like your characters. I totally have done that before.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, it's a tie-in. We're kind of jumping the gun a little bit because we'll talk about Nicki in a little bit, but like the Nicki Minaj coincidence is being presented. They have a.
Sorry,
I'm gonna let you, because I don't want to, let you get your shit off. Nicki Minaj has a Chun-Li version of her being presented in Street Fighter. Wait, did you flatline this now?
Dead.
I'm not joking. Look. Okay, there you go. See?
Dead.
But yeah, I mean that's
KO.
But I mean that's that.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but
Yeah, but also look at I've watched
strategic
a lot of
marketing.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of Street Fighter matches, Tekken matches, and anytime they have those games available, you want like
you want your
put,
resemblance of some sort on there.
Yeah, so they put like multiple. They'll make sure they have every design possible available for them to play because certain people want to play with their character look, with their certain look.
Right.
But tying into GTA, GTA has been like a lot of you mentioned this before we started, and I'm in the same boat. GTA 6 is not going to come anytime soon.
No.
And I mean, just like you talked about, Red Dead Redemption is around the corner.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. And they got an article, even though I'm not going to throw it in this topic podcast, but they talked about Red Dead Redemption 4K is available for Xbox One X. So that's just the first step.
I mean, talking about GTA 5 and the $6 billion plus that they made just on in-game content and microtransactions, I'm not surprised.
No.
Like, Rockstar games are known for huge long-term longevity for their games because of DLC. Mm-hmm. And especially the big factor is for them, for GTA 5, is most of the content was free. They actually added it into the game. It's like, oh, you don't need to download anything. You don't need to take like 2 or 3 hours of your nighttime gaming session to download it and wait for your system to load while it's downloading in the background because you can't do anything, even though it says you can do anything on play online with friends. But you can't really do that because your bandwidth is really steady.
Yeah.
But the fact they do it in game and it cues you up like, hey, we got new content. You want to download it? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's do this. Especially if it's free. People like free things.
Yeah.
And they kept the grind fun. They added not just like DLC, like, oh, hey, it's a new map. It's like, oh, we'll do campaign missions. Oh, hey, we'll do new races and like wacky things. Like they basically did different stuff that a lot of game companies would probably never even think about doing it as like downloadable content.
Right.
Which keeps the game fresh, keeps it interesting, keeps you wanting to come back and play the same level again, maybe differently, or team deathmatch on this map. Let me try it with this gun. All right, let me try it with this weapon. Oh, this works, and then it keeps the experience fresh and invigorating.
Yeah,
which is great.
Because the game never really got or became stale, and it's like now it's to the point where they're literally doing like a lot of people do the role playing of Grand Theft. So
yeah,
that's kind of become like the bigger trend. Like, granted, it's not where it was before as far as people doing like speed runs of it, but you still have folks that get online and like to kind of get with their crew and get online and
it's still a fun game to play with friends.
To me it's always had I will say Gears has had a pretty high replay value to it for the most part.
There's definitely high replay value. Speaking of high replay and staleness, Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Beautiful transition on that one.
Logan Paul just
size in the podcast right now.
Massive size.
So Logan Paul, if you really are under a rock, is probably the most aggravating figure of YouTube at the moment. Mm-hmm. There's this he made a YouTube video of going into the suicide forest in Japan and showing off a dead body / victim and not really saying, oh, I didn't notice it, I didn't know he was dead, I thought he was asleep, and not really taking responsibility for his actions. And so now the controversial figure of YouTube is now on Twitch, and he's announced he was going to do a Twitch stream, and it wasn't pretty in the chat. The DMs was not trolls, not the DMs that you wanted.
The trolls are never going to die. And then to make it worse, you got to also factor in it's dual based in a sense because, first and foremost, let's go ahead and get the obvious out of the way. One, the internet's undefeated. Two, of all the games you decide to play,
you would play the one game that's the number one game on Twitch.
So you already know folks are going to give you hell in VIP.
All the emojis,
right?
All the dick pic memes and GIFs and JPEGs.
And they did not,
and MP3s probably, MP4s. I don't know. There's basically a lot of male genitalia in the chat, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, they and then it didn't benefit because as far as him, once he acknowledged or presented that he was going to be on Twitch, he had gotten a lot of followers just through saying he was going to be on Twitch.
Yep.
And those followers were waiting.
ready.
Yeah,
to quote one of his producers, quote, "There are so many dicks." End quote.
We could just take a moment of silence and just
Pause.
Press on with that.
I mean, so I don't get it that Logan Paul is. I don't understand why people like him. I personally do not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand his content. But again, like most people say, it's not for me.
Right. Yeah.
And the fact, I am a person of, all right, you may get another chance to redeem yourself or redemption or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Videotaping a dead body in a suicide forest. I'm like, don't.
Not the best.
That should be like one of those big things in the back of your mind. Be like, I don't think I should do this. Should I commit murder? No, I should not probably do that.
Right.
Like you probably should, of common decency in your household, should never do that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not surprised that he got so much spam and anger and gifts of dicks on his Twitch stream because, again, like you said, you went to the most popular game that is broadcasted on Twitch and you're already controversial on YouTube. What did you think was going to happen? That the people are going to give you a nice virtual hug and give you massive donations just because you are a figure on YouTube?
Yeah, and this was I think what makes it tough is it's literally anytime a game surpasses, because anyone who watches or knows about Twitch knows they're guaranteed.
Drake plays it. There you go.
Drake actually was playing at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had that in the background playing, but
God's
we digress. You know what? Good night. They did because anytime you can outplay or have more views than League of Legends, that says a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. But they did, and there was another story as far as with one of the other top streamers, Summit. I'm not sure if I sent this story. May or may not.
I heard.
You have it. Okay,
I heard about it.
Yeah. So Jake, with Jake Paul, he's one of the biggest douches at 10 subscribers. He had controversies, and his brother, decided, got a lot of criticism from streaming. Mm-hmm. So with Logan, Logan Paul was also, given that tough time, and it was so bad to the point that there were a couple of clips that were presented of Summit trying to just defend like what went down, and it was like one of the quotes he stated was, "Bro, you're disappointed that a guy is playing a video game with another human being that you happen to not like from a YouTube series that you don't watch. Relax, take a chill pill, go smoke a doobie if you need to. We're just chilling.
Doobie.
We're just chilling out playing some goddamn Fortnite.
Smoke a doobie. Though.
I'm not going to stand for this shit, and I will start permabanning people because according to me, you guys seriously have problems with this and aren't part of the true 1G squad. You're part of that
true
fake
1G squad.
But Summit,
oh my!
So Summit now. Keep in mind, Summit has like a huge.
Oh, he has a huge following. Yeah,
he has like 3 million followers. I mean, they like between. If you look at it, there's, and I feel bad saying this because I like with his numbers, I'm still surprised. Like, there's Ninja and there's Twitch. Like that's kind of where
Ninja could be Fortnite, Twitch. That's about it.
Right. I mean,
so I understand what Summit's saying is like, you're not part of the culture. Like answer of like young people, it's like, oh, because I'm playing. I understand he's like, hey, I'm playing with a gamer, like I'm doing this for content, blah 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 blah. It's not that big of a deal, and I can see where that perspective is coming from that gentleman, but from the person watching it, you're like looking at a person that you look at streaming Fortnite, whatever game it is regularly. If you're a person that likes get your entertainment from Twitch,
right.
And then when you see that person that you like or you follow or you maybe even put a little chat and they like acknowledge your comment or something like that, and you see them playing with Logan Paul, that's when they're like, oh,
it's a problem.
That's a little bit of an issue because I know where you are and I know about Logan Paul, so that means you can like. The human brain was like, oh, well, if you're playing on that means you condone this, and this. And some people be like, you know what? I'm just here trying to get some views, trying to get my subscription rate up.
Yeah. And
that could have been his motive, but you're doing it
with that person.
With that guy. Yeah. That guy over there. I mean, that's the big negative. It's I don't think you can do whatever you want, but you also got to think that the consequences is going to be consequences. depending on who you're around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a hurt. It's a hurt or harm one way or the other. But at the end of the day, like, what's ironic about it is even with him being on the streamer, and I think this is what some people need to keep in mind. Whether he was on the stream or not, Summit's still gonna have his support and his follow base. Now, yeah, you're gonna get the trolls, and they're gonna do trolls are trolls on the internet. Like, you can't you have no control over.
No.
But I mean, that's just kind of the beauty of the beast as far as like streaming. Like, if you're a streamer, hey, if you like me, just happen to have 5 people viewing your stream, you feel like you amazing. You know what? Good night. We're done here. We're the rest of the podcast is done. Just follow, subscribe, and thanks for tuning in. No,
I was like, I'm about to play Fortnite. Then. Bye.
If I had it, so I'm gonna give this to you because I know you are a Destiny guy.
Oh God, no! Jesus. So on the docket, the question is Destiny 2 dead?
Yeah.
In case you were curious about
it. We'll have it. It'll be in the
all right.
I always show note them anyway, and I gotta mark the show and all that, and I'll do that later.
Hey. But, so I'm guessing the floor is mine again about this one.
I got some input because I've played. I didn't really play Destiny 2, but I've played Destiny as a whole, and I mean, I have my views about it. Just to kind of give everyone an understanding, right now it's ranked number 22 on Twitch as far as views, which isn't bad. I mean, 4,604 people now. Is it a main streamer that's playing it? Let's just see. Dado's got 1,600 views, which isn't bad. And of course, if we compare it to our streamer conversation we just talked about earlier, you have Ninja playing with 118,000 people. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think
that just was a bad setup.
Yeah, a little bit. So with Destiny 2 and the state it's in, how do I go? There's so much to talk about in this subject.
That's why I gave you the floor.
I know. Let's start with this. When it first came out, the campaign was great. The end game was fun because you didn't know what you were expecting.
You loved it. You was like,
oh yeah, I love the camp. I was in it. I was grinding to get my warlock, my hunter, and my titan through the campaign so I can enjoy the end game with each one of my characters. And then you got to a point where you saw that the modes were limited, like the ones that back in D1, that some of the modes and the weapons that were there are gone.
Right.
You also then realize that some of the end game rewards were basically the same, and there was no variety. There was no random rolls on weapons, which was a huge grind factor, because I remember playing Destiny 1 for months, for weekends, like trials weekends. It was like, all right, I got to be on. I got to find my squad in my gaming community, and we're going to grind trials the whole weekend so I can get a certain type of gun with a certain type of role, which for me was a doctrine. I didn't get my doctrine for about 7 months, and I finally got a god roll, and I was like, oh my God, I got it. This is amazing. I feel like I just conquered the world. But game feelings like that. So the fact that was kind of gone, and the limited amount of content, the lack of modes, the game felt slower. I even went back and played D1, and I was like, this feels like the sequel. Like D2 felt like the prequel. How do I say this in non-Destiny? Oh, here we go. Destiny 2 was D1 was Far Cry 3.
Okay.
Destiny 2 was Far Cry Primal.
Right.
That's kind of backwards, because Far Cry 3, great, fantastic. Lost my life in that game a few times. Far Cry Primal was, we're going to go back in the Stone Age and do things. It was fun. You got to ride an elephant, but that was about it.
Yeah.
But I think for D2 right now, it's in an interesting state, because Bungie now realized throughout the trolls and the anger on their streams and stuff like that, it's like, we need you to fix this. And because the game lacks so much, people went and outreach and found other games. Like me, I found most of my gaming clan played Fortnite, and I was on playing Destiny while they were playing Fortnite, having a blast. And I'm like, it may not be for me.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know what, Destiny's boring me. So I went and played Call of Duty World War II, and that was when they had the Resistance event, and I was like, oh, this is fun. This is awesome. I have something to grind for. It's fun. And met other gamers like, hey, what's up, man? Grinding for this. Like, there was something to grind for.
Yeah.
Then I got into Fortnite, which has taken my life significantly as a gamer.
I remember. I know still to this day.
Yeah, I probably will be streaming on Twitch tonight at Shadow Cozy on Twitch.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Appreciate you.
He went to the full
strategic marketing.
He went to the whole mic like he about to do a mixtape for real. Let me put the filter back on.
Fortnite Volume 1 available now. Anyway, so because of Destiny 2, people broke away from it. People found other games. Fortnite got popular. The Destiny 2 streams went down significantly. And then Bungie was like, well, we could let it die, or we can try access to the community. Then they came up with the Go Fast update, which made it faster. I still haven't played it to this day, even with the new update. I'm honestly waiting for the DLC to come out. Because, yeah, you get everything like up to speed. Yeah, your characters feels faster. They feel stronger. That's great. I still don't have anything to grind for or a reason to play it.
Right.
You know, I was excited for Iron Banner 6v6, but they had a bug, so that's being delayed a few weeks. So I think the main focus is that people want random rolls. They want content that's actually good and want to grind for it like that. So I wouldn't say if you ask me, is Destiny 2 dead? I would say it's on life support, like severe, like one more heartbeat and it'll be gone forever. Okay. But they have done enough work to update it to make it faster, make people more interested and still be able to play it. It's not at the pinnacle of D1 golden tier with their DLC. Because I'm kind of thinking of like Destiny wasn't Destiny until the Taken King DLC came out. And that changed the entire game because that fixed PvP. That gave them a new raid. PvE was awesome. They brought up a new the Night Drought planet. So they just need something like that for D2. They probably need it twice. But I think with the content that they're working on now, it might give them more life. I know I didn't under Drake reference. It might give them more life. But I don't think they'll be dead yet. If it's the DLC comes out and like boom, it's trash. It's done. Rest in peace, Destiny 2. Right. But I don't think it's dead at the moment. Okay. It's definitely down. Significantly down.
All right. So, and I think this is my reference to any game, and this is kind of like what my make or break is for gaming. And this is even Destiny as well. And this will probably sum up why you don't play it as often. Anytime, and companies don't really promote this anymore, but I'm a strong believer of it. And I think that's why even with my retro... Shut up. Let you have the floor. Let you get your whole... You'll be back. You'll be all right. Huh. Once you talk about Cardi B, we'll let you take over. And Nicki Minaj.
God, this thing's gonna be like 4 hours long.
No, it's not. We at the home stretch now. Don't play.
Okay, go.
Oh, now go. Okay, sorry, go.
Wake me up before you go. Oh, sorry. I'm
sure. That's why I let you.
My fault. I know that was a popular song in your childhood. My fault.
Meanwhile, replay value.
And there is none.
Right. If you don't have it, you won't like. And that's with anything. That's with music.
Yeah. For example, Fortnite. I can die like
people.
I can literally be the 99th. I can finish the 99th place, and I would want to play it again. Like
people instantly. Play. I've seen people. I've legit watched Ninja play like 10 matches back to back, like, and not get bored. Like I think.
Yeah. I've watched people in my gaming clan when they're streaming, and if I'm not doing anything or
background,
or background noise, I would watch just to watch because it's that fun, it's that intriguing. Yeah, especially with the game audio. Oh my god,
it is. No, I can believe it. Like I did it. I played it for a little bit.
Yeah, you seen the clip I made in Switch?
Yeah,
of Batman.
Yes, never forget.
God.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of how it's just how the consistency is of a game or not, right, or doesn't involve a game. Yeah. To kind of spin into the replay value, since we have music and we're doing this is so I'm number one. We're gonna go ahead and get this out of the way because I'm not getting caught by Joe Budden. We're not having sleepers. We're just gonna talk about music because I refuse.
Trash.
No, is that how you feel? All right, well, just let it be known. So we have an artist spotlight. We'll get to her in a moment. But we actually do have a couple of albums that were released.
And there was a lot this week.
And we kind of gonna so mainly it's I have 5. Just make sure. So we got our main one that we're gonna kind of chop up and talk about, which is the infamous Cardi B Invasion of Privacy.
Oh boy.
We're gonna. So we're just gonna.
That basically took over the internet when it released on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, at midnight it was. I think I talked about it a couple of days before because when the album cover had released, that was already the hype behind it in itself.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking at the playlist.
13 songs.
13
her first
tracks.
Major album debut.
Yeah,
So, real question is, trash or nah?
I've played it a couple times.
Sorry. How? If you had to give it a rating, like a simple rating, don't be like
7.
I gave it like a 7. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 7. I'm not going. So, all right, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you why I gave it a 7.
All right. Out of 100.
We doing 100?
No, I'm just clarifying.
7 out of 10.
Okay.
7 out of 10.
You know, it's a podcast. You know?
Yeah, no, 7. They'll figure it out.
7 out of 100. Man, that shit was trash.
No, it was not. It wasn't that bad. I think I didn't have a high expectation with the album number 1, and that's because I know and understand music. I also know and understand Cardi B. I've heard a lot of people, give the riff and the whole thing with her as far as, her personal overcomings of whatever you want to put it as, like her personal life. We don't need to put that in the podcast, no need. But just songs that the songs she did, okay. I'll be honest. I skipped Bodak Yellow and I skipped Bartier Cardi because I heard him.
Boom, my buddy. Cardi was so Barty. Cardi.
Like, you really don't know you have to be that close to the mic. But go ahead. I hope we award. Let me just hide it. Then that way you can't get to it. But yeah, those two songs I really didn't listen to. The radio kind of played them out enough. I mean, and those are the songs that help with benefiting the streams. And I think what benefits now is if you want to turn that light, that might be why. You trying to get a light or something? So okay, he'll be back.
I mean, I can still hear you. Come on, man.
He gonna walk away.
Wow.
Go walk away, Mark. But legit,
I can see now.
you know what? Can't give people nice things at
Man.
all.
Talk about the album.
I think the album. I mean, I was weird. I actually liked the Drip song. Don't ask me why.
The what one?
Drip.
Oh, the
I'm not saying
Amigos.
it. Yeah.
Drip.
And I didn't factor in until I looked at it because obviously you could hear Quavo smothered in this song, but yeah, it was a legit setup or whatever. As far as how it was played out, Moneybag was pretty good. 3 Your Phone was a big deal. I Do was interesting because it told a lot of the personal story, and just as a whole, I personally this was one of those albums, and there's very few times you have it occur, but it was actually. I'm gonna let you go on.
All that.
And of course, the Bacon Head was to mimic the Chicken Head song. I mean, it was a lot of samples she did. I like it. It was pretty good. It was not bad at all. So I mean, like I said, it was a good album. It was what I expected as far as an album because it was. She's not. This was her first album, number 1, and number 2. There was also the
First
time,
major one.
I mean, okay.
On a major
her
label.
first album under a major label, yeah.
Right.
That's kind of why I didn't really. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt in that regard too. So that's why I gave 7 to 10.
I think for me is I didn't how do I say this? I didn't have an expectation of it being like gold status on the street impact level of music. I thought it was gonna be rushed because they've been saying, "Oh, we have an album," and when you hear multiple times, "Oh, we got an album," it's been like months, like almost a year. It's like you ain't got an album,
Right.
and then it's rushed. It's rushed before the summer because I was thinking, "Oh, she'll probably hit this out during the summer and be like some summer smashes on it." Mm-hmm. But I think what got me was the first track, "Get Up 10," the intro track, because like we were talking about it. You said it reminded you of "Dreams and Nightmares" from Meek.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like,
it's the same beat.
yeah. And I was just listening to it and I felt the vibe and like she was going in. I was like, okay, this this Cardi B. All right.
Yeah, it was.
And then Drip happened, and then Chicken Head, which was funny because chicken, what, chicken head.
Yeah.
For those that you do not know, go to Google and Google that. That's a song coming from the 90s. But anyway, the whole album was decent. I don't think it was, oh my God, this is legendary status. It was very good for a debut. She had some smashes. She had the Migos song, the song from Chance with her and Chance was good.
Yes, the song with her and Chance was
and
definitely
of course you had Barteria Cardi with 21. YG wasn't that bad. I think the real surprise was how her and SZA sounded on the last one.
Yes.
And that really surprised me.
Yeah, because I think it was, I want to say, was that the song where it was one song where she actually was singing, and it was like a surprise for a lot of people. It might be that song, I'm not sure, but.
It might have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there were some really good hits on there. Mm-hmm. It's not, oh my God, like she's going to be a legend type album. I definitely give it, if I had to give it out of 10, I'd probably give it maybe an 8.
Okay.
Because it exceeded expectations. Because I didn't have any expectation. I was blown away. I was like, yeah, I would definitely jam in the car in this and listen to it multiple times on the road.
Which you have.
I definitely have. Especially Be Careful. Be careful with me. I was like, Offset.
Yeah. Facts.
So
yeah.
yes.
Whole story. So we'll kind of, I don't want to say I'm strained because we're not really strained for time because I can record as a good amount of time. The next album, which Mark actually introduced me to, was Alina Baraz,
The Color of You. Now, as a person that likes R&B, because hip hop, I love hip hop. Loved hip hop when I was young, but I've come into a more older soul with R&B, and Alina surprised me from the first track. Like I was listening on Spotify and I was like, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna save the whole album because I'm definitely gonna listen to it again.
Yeah.
Her melodies, and she was very creative with her flow. The background music was great. Mm-hmm. Like everything from the beginning to the end of the album was like a classic R&B album you would hear from like R. Kelly, the singer R. Kelly, the pre-Golden Showers, like all that stuff.
Right.
It's like golden era R&B music.
Yeah.
Which was amazing to me.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like I listened to it. I really, as far as me giving it a full spin, I've spun it, but it was like I need to really like just shut down and like chill and listen to it.
Right.
Most times with like a lot of albums, like if you listen to it on the go, you're like, oh, okay, I like it, but I really wasn't paying attention. Let me really pay attention to like see what I got.
Right.
And that's kind of what I had to do with it. Because like when I listened to like going back to Cardi's album, it was like I listened to it the first time, and people was like, "How do you feel about it?" And I didn't say this, and I'm gonna say this now because I think this is why I gave it a 7. If you think of the artist Emil, that's who she reminds me of.
Oh,
so good. That's the only reason why I have that as a number, and it's not a bad. It's not her.
Ain't nothing but a number.
You know what? We didn't put this in the podcast, but Aaliyah actually has her makeup coming out soon, so that's a big deal. But yeah, so this album I do enjoy it. I'm like I said, I'm going to listen to it more and just kind of give it that chill vibe. But so far, I mean,
it's a vibe.
It's definitely a vibe. Going next into the Weeknd's brief
EP
playlist.
album.
I do like the fact that they gave the apostrophe because I think that's the reason that it's left with more to come. I'm just gonna put that out. Like that was, and before I continue, I did hear that on another podcast, and that was kind of what confirmed that.
So the Weeknd came out with My Dear Melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
Guess it's an EP since it's only 6 tracks.
Yeah,
but all the 6 tracks were basically on flames. I mean, on fire.
On flames and on fire.
It's on flames, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because this thing's on fire, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Weeknd, this is great, son.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. You did ask this, and I skipped over it. For the last album for Alina Baraz's album, what would you rate it?
Oh, I'd give it a 9.
Okay. I'm gonna put incomplete because I need to really listen to it.
Yeah,
I don't want to like give my answer and then I'm like,
I mean, it's great. It's definitely repeat value. It's,
yeah.
Their vibes felt like I felt my heart my heartstrings tug a little bit while listening. I was trying not to get teary eye, and I didn't because I'm a man. But it was good, very good R&B music listening into your ears. Very good. Highly recommend listening to that.
Nice.
But back to the weekend.
And the weekend, like, all right. Well, since we're here, like, what would you get a weekend's album?
See, it's an EP,
right?
So
incomplete.
I would say it's incomplete, but it's definitely a very good EP with some really good downloadable content.
Yeah, this is. That's
what I think about. I think like EPs, like, well, it's songs that wouldn't be on the album, maybe. But you can definitely download them to your phone or computer and stuff like that, and definitely jam to them.
True. Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah.
I can go for that. Finally, because we're gonna save the last as a surprise because it's not out yet. But finally, Tony Braxton dropped a new album. Ha ha! Yes, Sabadose.
Yes.
All glory. Should have bought a Hyundai. Long as I live, you can definitely tell she put her story out there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
still feel sorry for the dude that did it.
But yeah, this is. I mean, it's 8 tracks, but there's not a track that I skipped on this album. Like now, this would probably be my surprise because I'm like I grew up on Tony too, but
oh yeah,
I mean this
the fact she's 50 years old
and holding it down.
The album cover is
fire. But yeah,
like Tony Braxton looks good, man, and she sounds like she never stopped making music.
Right. For this album, I'd give it a 9.
You give it a 9?
I'm giving it a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would
give it a 9. I know that's like strong, but
I think I would give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Deadwood. Deadwood was awesome for an intro track. Sex and
Yeah.
Cigarettes, the song name for the album was good. Long as I Live was awesome.
Yeah.
FOH.
Yeah, no said.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, not really.
Right.
My heart was, Like the first part of the album for me was bang.
So
bang,
you was a half
bang,
and half.
bang, pause. And then we went through, yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So it was a very good album, though.
All right, we in the home stretch because it's at 2 hours. I didn't realize it. God damn. All right, so
Hey.
so before we do the artist spotlight, I'll take over this part and then we'll have some fun.
It's your podcast, bro. Do you, bro?
Hey,
Do you, bro?
I'm trying. So so
Nicki.
we'll call this strategic marketing. You only get 1. Do you want me to turn the mic off? So, as we just mentioned, Cardi B's album came out on Friday, and what's funny is, she's gonna be trying to chase her tail the rest of the night.
Word.
Cardi.
By the way, there's a cat on the couch.
Oh, we
it's
know.
Very entertaining.
They know all about Twin. If they go back and listen to any Twin Talk, Mia has taken over plenty of podcasts.
Nice.
But Cardi B's album came out Friday, and this coming Friday, Nicki Minaj has a new single coming out. So it's very ironic that their business ploy is carrying it to this point. I really don't know much about the song yet. I just know that she has a new single coming, and they've kind of pushed it. So we'll see what's in store for that new single, and what's next on the agenda with that.
But if you're a music person, you shouldn't be surprised by this.
No.
Like coming into this year, everybody was like, okay, Cardi B's got to come out with an album. Nicki Minaj has to do something, either a song or an album. Next up, Remy Ma.
Drake.
No, I'm talking about the women
Oh, the
rap.
women?
I mean, Drake does get in his feelings a lot.
Yeah.
But, he's all part of God's plan. He's worried about Toronto making the
Good
East Conference
night.
Finals.
You know what? Oh, Lord. All right. Let me go ahead
But
and
yes, Cardi B, Remy Ma, and Nicki Minaj are all on the clock for the women rappers.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, especially if Nicki or Remy drop some hot flames in the summer. And it becomes like a summer anthem.
Possibly.
Which is probably what Nicki is trying to do right now. And Remy Ma, you never know. She can come out with something. She is Remy Ma.
Right.
She's from the BX, also known as the Bronx.
You done? Yep. I'm done with you.
Okay.
I can't.
That's fine. It's cool.
So
I appreciate you inviting me for the podcast. I'll see myself out. That's cool.
Oh Lord, where's my tissues? Cry me a river. So
like
Gene, go ahead.
Nope,
Go ahead.
nope,
No,
no.
you
We
done
good.
jumped this far.
I am a professional. Pause.
Today's artist spotlight, since we did discuss other artists, but today's artist spotlight is Jean Grae. So I am going to do this a little different today because normally I read the bio. I have the bio in the show notes. You can check it out. It'll kind of go over her career as a whole. Now, what I will talk about is her new album that just dropped with Quelle Chris called Everything's Fine. Backstory of how this all started. Go ahead, because I know you're about to do something silly.
No.
Okay. I have to get you.
I was confused. Like, what happened? I was looking at my podcast man over here playing for Tail. It's cool.
You know, she be lit.
Yeah, she is.
So I watched Desus and Mero's show one day, and they were, they get different people on, and they were like, "Well, our special guest today is Jean Grae and Quelle Chris." I was like, "All right, cool."
Right.
So they were on there talking, and she was like, "Yeah, check out my album." And I'm like, "All right, let me see what the album is." Now,
Go on to Spotify.
She was on. I did iTunes, but either way,
I mean,
music is music. You stream
music of choice.
Yeah,
we
I
all
went
have
on
choices.
Yeah, I went on my streaming source, and I found Everything's Fine. And I listened to the album.
Great intro, by the way.
Yeah,
on that album.
It's called, and it literally talk about how by nature we look at things, and when something's going on, we just kind of give the simple "everything is fine." But in reality, we know it's a lot going on.
But everything is fine.
So just if you have not had a chance, or if you may or may not know about it, stream. Let's see, Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you're gonna listen to it. Check out Everything Is Fine, and if you're able to buy the album, she did recommend or did emphasize on supporting it as far as buying the album. It's just your choice.
Yeah, I checked out the album on Spotify, and I was hooked in by the intro. Again, the intro segment, which is hilarious. I can't do it justice. It's pretty hilarious.
Yep.
But it's so realistic when you listen to it. It's like I can totally see someone doing this.
Yeah.
For an intro track, and it goes to the rapping part of the album, which I kind of considered as woke rap, which I see a lot more now in present day. People just trying like, oh, I'm woke. Oh, I know this. I know the truth behind the meaning of the stuff like this because I see it with my eyes, and I see it with my eyes, but it's not in my eyes. There's something behind my eyes because it's woke back there, like type of woke rap and stuff like that. So it's the album on the woke part wasn't really for me, but I did like her flow. I like the lyricism. I like their bars because she has some really good bars, and the sound, the music in the background. Like there are some where her message was meshing, but the drops and the sound was just like not syncing with each other. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you can have like the best perfect lyrics in the world, and you can have a trash soundboard in the back and just ruins the whole delivery of it.
Yeah.
But there's some bangers on there. I definitely would recommend it, especially if you like being woke.
If you have an open ear, I'll say it like this: if you have an open ear to music, you'll listen to it and definitely understand it because it's a lot of
there's a lot of realism in it.
There's a lot of realism, but it's also like a lot of references that she uses that a lot of people, if you really don't know where or how it's going, like the second track was my contribution to this scam. It was legit references from like a different world put in there. And I was like, no one would understand.
And I was like, do I need to read the manual to get this song?
Yeah, you may. So I mean, there's some.
I did listen to that like a few times. I was like, I kind of sort of get it, but I still didn't get the whole
right
message.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, like I said, she's kind of been like this. I mean, and I found other songs of hers as well. And what a lot of people fail to realize, she's been out for like 20 years.
Right.
Like she's been in the game for a while, but it's like now she's more, I won't say becoming more like mainstream, but now she's getting that exposure at the right time. So
the fact that her debut album Attack of the Attacking Things was in 2002. She's been in the game. And a lot of people, I remember when her name, when you said it to me, I was like, I think that was the one that people thought she'd be like the next Lauryn Hill or something like that.
So that's what it woke. Yeah. And I can go with that.
That's already a heavy compliment already.
Yeah, that's a huge tutelage to carry. So
speaking of tools,
This is all right. So
Great transition yet again.
This one you've been watching too much Street Fighter and Jam, but anyway, we're now at my favorite part of the podcast.
The ass of the week.
This is why I told y'all when I warned y'all in advance I was gonna have a crazy special. Go ahead. You
Nah, we're good.
You done danced already, so you might as well don't sit down there and throw the.
All right, hold on. Let me do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, the ass of the week.
So I know. Chanel is gonna literally be dead from tripping off of high. She probably in there.
Hi, Chanel.
Since I just should have did that
2 hours and you finally did it, huh?
No, because I just wanted to see how far you was gonna go. Pause. But anyway,
hold on.
So, Kanisha Posey, congratulations! You have earned the title of being Ass of the Week, and how you did it still blows my mind.
It's the most Florida thing you could ever think of if you actually had to think of it, though.
Very, very Floridian, very Floridian.
Very Florida, if you know what I'm talking about.
A Florida woman who was busted with cocaine last month told officers the wind must have blown it into her purse. So she was one of two passengers in a car that was stopped by Fort Pierce police after it was seen swerving in the roadway on March 21st. Whatever you broke, you good over there?
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, swerving.
Okay. As long as you ain't swagging.
I'm swerving.
Woo! I'm gonna let you get that swerving in there, but we'll continue.
I'm swerving.
When officers
That's when the cocaine hit.
When officers approached the vehicle, I'm just gonna return back to focus. When officers approached the vehicle, they detected the smell of marijuana coming from inside the car. Officers later found cocaine and marijuana inside Posey's purse. I wonder if that's... Never mind. I don't know anything about any cocaine. It's a windy day. It must have flown through the window and into my purse. All right, so I'm not going to read... Matter of fact, the rest of it is, she was arrested and booked into the jail.
Shocker.
So let's... All right, this is why I'm laughing and going to have a field day with this being Ass of the Week. First and foremost, if you had something... wind come to Florida and just ironically drop a bag of some cocaine into your purse and it just lands perfectly in your purse and you not know that the wind landed it there, was the window actually open?
It must have been hurricane season.
Okay, Katrina. must have been Hurricane Kanisha.
Good Lord. Jesus.
Listen, you get... I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
No, you're not.
For you to be this much of a dirt, you don't get any pardon from me from any slight work for being...
Although I'll give her the creative notch of saying it must have blew in my purse. Pause. I've never heard of that.
That's worse
in
than
the history
of
excuses. Homework. I know, but the fact that you're like, oh, I'm art. It's like, all right, I noticed that if I don't do drugs, but
don't benefit that she a sister, but still.
No, I'm just saying, like, if there's something of illegal substance in my possession and I know it's there, and it's like, all right, I'm gone. You gotta get creative. It's not like, oh, I didn't know it wasn't in there. I didn't know I was wearing pants today. Like, those excuses are old and done with, and they heard it before. But if you say, oh, I don't know, the wind blew it in my purse. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, the window happened to be down.
The cop might do a double take. Like, wait, what? Get a little confusing. I mean, I thought it was creative. I also thought it was stupid. But
she's trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's trash.
She tried it though. I mean,
it might have worked in Chicago because that's actually in the Windy City. But
that part.
Probation.
Do we have? No, we're not gonna say it.
We do not. Nope.
All right, so that is the end of episode 166. I I appreciate everyone. If you stayed this long, you are the real MVP. Before we close out,
your Microsoft points come in the mail.
You know what? Microsoft Word is in your... If you get a version of Paint in the mail, you are the winner. Do you have any social medias that you want to share before we close out?
Yes. You can follow me on Twitter at ShadowKaze, ShadowKazie. You can also follow me on Twitch at ShadowKaze. I'm also on Instagram at ShadowKaze. I got a Facebook. You can also... hit me up on VCsports.com where I do my sports writing.
Sorry, I forgot to promote the writing life.
No, you're good. You're good.
My bad.
I got you, bro.
Get your shit off.
I got you, bro. You can also follow, hit that homepage favorite tab on your Safari or it's Chrome, whatever internet you use. VCsports.com. I do some writing over there for coverage of the VCU athletics teams. Like men's basketball, women's basketball, soccer, the whole nine, all that stuff. You can also follow them on Twitter at VC Sports, Facebook /VC Sports, and they also have Instagram at VC Sports RVA.
Look at that promotion.
Look at that. It's like I've done it before.
Look at that man branding like you mean it. Y'all know me. It's my show. No, I'm just kidding. If you are looking to do, as I've shared already, if you're looking in podcasting and you want to get any information, I can definitely help you as best I can. passpodcastbt@gmail.com. Also, I just realized all this time that I have Discord. So if you'd like to look up Discord, I have it on my Linktree profile. It's the first link. I finally condensed all my links because I realized everything said the past and there was no point. So check out LinkedIn. Check LinkedIn. Check out Discord, and you can definitely get my information there. I'm working on Twitch at some point, but I gotta do some things, priorities. But I do want, as far as Twitter, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Past Podcast. I will be posting some snaps later on. But yeah, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, sir, for the invitation.
This
probably my last invitation.
No, it's not gonna be your last invitation.
I get to come back.
Yeah. If we supposed to do this group show I feel like
let's keep that on the burner though. Man.
Yeah, that's definitely
that could be crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna pray for Spreaker. I might have to.
There'll be some good content though.
I might have to put a
clock. That might hit the airwaves soon.
I might have to put a clock on that one. But thanks for joining me.
I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. As always, continue to strive for excellence. Learn from your mistakes, and if you get an L, don't let that L be.
Don't hold it.
Don't hold it for so long. Just drop it and learn from it and move forward.
As the late great Cardi B, you get knocked down 9, you get up 10.
You said late great like she passed. See y'all later. Bye. Bye. The one point of the show I don't like to reach, but every show must have an ending. So you have made it to the end of yet another episode of the podcast Every Day in April. Continue to tune in. These will be going on from April the 1st until April the 30th. And I will guarantee you that there will be plenty of content and more than enough information to share and address during this show. Thanks for tuning in.